to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. How is everybody doing tonight? We have got a great show for you tonight. Even if, shout out to the replay gang, even if you missed the live party, we're going to have fun tonight. But you definitely want to make sure you're definitely going to enjoy this, but you definitely want to make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, so you never miss a party. And you know what? Sometimes I go on whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, all that good stuff, and you will never, ever, ever miss a live party. Also, just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of the stream, my6shirt.com. You can look as beautiful as any one of these ladies with any one of these two shirts, not guaranteed, but whatever your persuasion, they've got something for you. And of course, it is the only place to get your very own The Indian Jesus official merch. Only at my6shirt.com. All right. Hey, we got some early gang people in here already. We got Divine and Rod. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just another guy with a beard. What is going on? What is going on? Okay, you can't hear that. We got David Banner in the building. Welcome, 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 guys. Glad to be here. Glad to be here with you. And of course, we've got some updates. We got to talk about the Tate and the War Room. But before we get into all of the goodness, I have somebody special here with me today. So please, everybody say hello to Tristain Tate.
What's up? What's up? What's going down, man? What's up, everybody? Salute to everybody in the chat. The Indian Jesus, how's it going, man?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Good, good. Do you want to, for those who are not familiar, do you want to let the people know who you are and why you are qualified to talk about this stuff?
Absolutely, absolutely. So my name is Tristain Tate. I'm a best-selling author of Girlfriend versus Wife Duties and Say Hello to Me. Those are two men and women self-help books. You can find me on YouTube at Tristain Tate. Go right to my page. And if you want to talk to me about business and relationships, hit me up and we'll get things popping.
There you go. Beautiful. So, the main reason that I wanted to bring you on, Tristain, for this one was because both of us have spoken pretty positively about Andrew Tate so far. And hey, we got Indie Film in the building. Welcome, 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 brother. Yeah, you know, there's a lot coming out, and there's a lot that's not coming out. So I felt like we definitely wanted to address where we are in the state of things, and you know, kind of just address that we are not like deriders of Andrew Tate. There happens to be messages that, regardless of what he has or has not done, that we believe in, and maybe not all of the same ideas, but just in general. So we want to get into you know, all the goodies and oh, wrong one, and see what we are dealing with. So instead of doing some boring thing where we read a newspaper or something, I figure Abin Preach just released an awesome video kind of catching everybody up on where we are. So we'll dive into that. Just let me know if you want to pause it, and let's do it.
Let's do it.
He's in prison in Romania. Some people say he's innocent, other people say he's guilty.
Yeah, hear the video.
Remember us? We said wait till the evidence comes out and we'll find out. Well, a lot of evidence has been coming out. That prosecutor's office in Romania has been leaking a lot. And
how can you be a prosecutor's office and leaking that much?
Let's always do
that. Yeah,
they leak what they want to the press. You have to understand,
it's a whole game.
Facts, David.
Winning a case for them is not just winning a case. There's a lot of ego involved. These people want to win these big cases. But when the FBI says it's got a 96, 98 conviction rate, the reason why is because they like that shit on their resume. They take on cases they know they're going to win, and they only put forth the case when they know they're going to win. And so this thing right here, have you seen what they leaked?
No, I haven't.
Right here?
Listen, they didn't prosecute Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate prosecuted Andrew Tate. My homie was self-snitching.
Oh, so that's really... Oh. I got to be used to having you here. That's really what we want to get into, because he definitely snitched on himself in a number of different ways.
Right.
But is it, you know, what did he do is really what we're asking. There's definitely issues with money, whether it's fraud, taxes, this stuff or that stuff. But, you know, I mean, I like I said, I'm not a D-rider. He's not my friend. I don't have any desire to hang out with him. It's just about, you know, he said some things that resonated with me. And if it's the fact, if he's a white collar criminal where he's just, committing those kinds of crimes, then that doesn't mean he's a good guy. But it certainly doesn't mean he's what they're accusing him of.
Right.
Right. So
well, I know we're going to get into it on the Abba and Preach. There's a lot of information that I discovered that's coming out from his personal website, like the private videos. And I think this is why everything is spiraling out of control, because some of the things that he was saying to some of the guys, I think their girlfriends got a hold of it, their wives got a hold of it.
Right.
And it's a lot too. But I want to talk about it after we watch these reactions.
Beautiful. All right, let's get into it.
Oh, that bad.
Watch the tape.
No, basically,
Watch the tape.
Welcome, we got Democrat Poop City in the building. Welcome. Says the prosecutor is linked to the elections, and he thinks if he brings down the Tates, he will look good for the 2024 elections. It's all politics and power. Interesting. I have not heard that. I have not heard that opinion before. So I'm gonna star this, and as we go through more of this, let's see how on point you are. Welcome, Democratic Poop City. Are we talking about, what is it, San Diego? That they just got like a app where you gotta avoid all the poop. Yeah. Oof.
Trafficking. We have three things: force, fraud, or coercion. Force, obviously, that's like being in chains and not being allowed to leave. Fraud, being kept there under false pretenses. If there's an element of fraud in the way that you are enticing somebody or keeping somebody in a particular position to work for you, and if it's in the sex business, that's sex trafficking or coercion. Let's kind of look at one of his very first videos that he did. These are his words, not my words.
When you say
All right, so his words.
webcam company, people assume, oh, it's just a sex fest. But in reality, it's a shitload of people management. The HR category of the webcam business is the largest and most important thing. You're effectively taking girls, teaching them how to make unlimited money from home, and then making sure they give it all to you. Your goal is to inspire a girl to make money. So the way you're going to do that is you have to have some element of influence, and you're going to have that element of influence through her respecting you, looking up to you, and her believing she needs you. And this is extremely important, because at the beginning she will need you, but then she won't need you. But you have to keep that fallacy, keep that dream alive.
Hey, we got Gilma. Sorry, I'm terrible with names here. Gilma Gurula. I'm sorry, I massacred that, but great point here. Said, remember, Vice defended Amber Heard. And so obviously we are talking in relation to, the last piece of this saga so far was the Vice hit piece, quote unquote, documentary that they put out. Yeah. And we're definitely going to get into, what they were talking about in that. Vice is super copyright claim heavy, so we're not going to be able to watch much of it, if anything. But great point, Yoma. Great point. Vice is not where you want to go for news. If you want to get your own opinions, validated, sure. But if you're looking for truth, not where you want to go. We got Trey Williams in the building. What is good? What is good? Trey says, I think two things are true at the same time. A lot of cities basically allow the drug trade to flow until election time and then clean up the city to look hard on crime. That's the game. That is the game. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Anything before we dive back in, Sean?
Let me ask you a question about this clip that we're watching. Is that from his private website, or is this something that was already
I believe so. So I believe the lawyer that we're looking at is watching a video that was behind a
paywall.
Either the War Room or Hustlers University or one of these things. I believe so, but I'm not sure. If anybody in the chat knows for sure, that would definitely help us out.
See, that's his word. And what is fallacy? Fraud.
That's a pimp. That's exactly what a pimp does.
I knew some street pimps. I've known them for a long time. Straight street pimping is completely, in fact, no, it's not completely different game. The psychological aspect is the same. She can't do this without you, to ensure that she doesn't do it without you. At the beginning, she can, but there'll become a point she can't. But you being here, it synergizes this teamwork energy. We're going to do this together. Yeah, you go on the camera. Don't worry. I'll talk to the guys. I'm going to talk to them. We're a team. Happy, positive teamwork. There's no negative energy in this business.
You imagine?
All right, pause. So wait a minute. So he got her in front of the camera, but he's the one sending the messages?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I mean, I don't know that again, that's a little bit shady, but is that to the level of where we really want to be treating it like we are?
Oh man, it's misleading. It's misleading. It's all outdoors, because if I was in one of those chats, I would think that the girl that I'm seeing, that's who I'm talking to. But he came up with a big money scheme, and look what it's getting him though.
Facts. Democratic Poop City. I'm just gonna go Poop City if that's all right with you. Said the charges are rehashed. Everything was already settled and went through the court. This is all to ruin Tate's rep and boost the prosecutors. Girls, the prosecutors added to the list of 6 to make it look worse, and came out said the charges are all full of crap. We're still in the first 20 minutes, so we're gonna keep that rated top G. No, nothing. I thought that was a good joke, but anyway.
Yeah.
But good point. Diviner says never go full pimp. I mean, unless you're ready for it.
That's true. Never go full
David
pimp.
says, and to think the quote top G only got arrested because he unprovoked attacked a 19-year-old online girl. Is that? I don't know if that's the.
That's the story that they're running with in the media, but I know that's not true. Because they made it seem like what's her name, Greta, that like she has some hitters after him or whatever. But nah, it's just. I really think it had a little bit to do with the pizza boxes because they realized that he was at home. But I don't think it was specifically the pizza box. I think they knew his background and was like, okay, he's at home.
Yeah. It's way more of the fact that they it's a whole compound. It's not like the Romanian government doesn't know who Tate is. So they know every square inch. Not to mention they raided the whole thing in April.
Yeah.
So they know what it looks like. In not even through the screen. So that but that just speaks to the level of just BS rumors and stuff that's going out there. Like, that was the first day. The first day I remember people were talking about the pizza boxes, and it's just like that's why I don't trust anything, and that doesn't mean that I don't take these crimes and these charges seriously. But innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Girl, and you webcam with her and you sending her messages and you find out it's actually just a bald-headed top G on the other side. You thought you were talking to a bitch named Mercedes. Turned out the nigga obsessed with Bugatti.
I'm just saying.
That's fine. I'm sorry.
Well, the reason why I'm having this face is because the amount, I didn't realize how much foot and mouth could contain.
Oh, he fucking up. Oh, they got all the receipts on this guy. I think it's worse.
And that's really what we're doing right now, as we're going to get into more of a free-form discussion. I just want to get everybody in. You guys know I love my context. This was the best and shortest compilation of all of the, more recent evidence. So let's, kind of just get a picture of where we're at, what is out there, so everybody's on the same page, and then we'll talk up a little bit more about it.
You have to be positive.
Welcome, Lee, to the party. Welcome. Said, I think Tate stayed this whole thing to get out of the Jake Paul fight. I don't know about that.
No way. No, man, this man is in real trouble. This is a real issue. He's not worried about a fight.
Yeah, he's legitimately in jail.
Yeah.
He already was a kickboxer. Even if he thought he was going to lose, I'm pretty sure he'd rather lose than be in jail for what he's in jail for.
Right.
You type with the girl, you maximize your money, and also she believes she needs you, which is extremely important. Another reason to use chat radio is because they will pay you in Bitcoin. And this is amazing because you've all seen the thought audit shit that's going on. You've all seen the fucking legalities of banking. Trying to get money out of these sites into your bank without paying a shitload of tax is actually very difficult.
See, it's that whole avoiding taxes. And it's not legal to do that.
In the last 6 months, chat rate have released the Bitcoin option. So they'll pay you in Bitcoin. Tax is also another important element for controlling your woman. You're not going to pay anybody tax because you're getting paid in Bitcoin. So you don't need to pay tax to anybody. Tell your girl that you're paying the tax. Because girls are lazy, and girls are stupid, and girls don't understand how taxes work. So the girl's working with you, and you're like, oh, okay, we made this much money, but I'm going to pay the tax to make sure we don't get in trouble. She'll say,
so that is clear admission of fraud. You cannot do that. Now, again, I'm not too familiar with Romanian laws, but I'm pretty sure that fraud is not legal there.
Right. And see, when I was talking about getting into banking, I was talking about getting into banking like legally, not to avoid any taxes or anything like that, but just to get the benefits of having people banking with you. But as you listen to this particular clip of what he's talking about, he's literally like fraud and laundering money through his system, you know.
Good point. Good point. I was gonna say. So Lee, I was like, all right, I'm gonna entertain this because it's funny. But he said, yeah, he saw Paul's sparring footage and got scared. That's a good one. That's a good one. Tristain Tate really bit himself in the ass when he said that Romania is the most corrupt government, and now it looks like it's being corrupted against him. But part of me thinks he is guilty. I'm well, and again, guilty of what though? Because again, he just openly admitted that he was defrauding these women.
Yeah.
Does that mean that he was doing the HT? We'll call it HT. That doesn't mean he was. It doesn't mean he wasn't. But you know, everybody at this point, we're all just trying to get a feel for it. So if that's where you're leaning, that's where you're leaning. It says clear misogyny too. Why the fuck you gotta throw it out? Come on. Let's be nice. Let's be respectful. Brown said, if you expect to find love and satisfaction on the web, you get what you deserve. Jake Paul fraud. I got sisters I could take that guy. Unless you got some brawling ass sisters, bro. I don't know about all of that. Let's hop back into this man snitching on his damn self.
Okay. Now that allows you to do two things. One is another control element. If I work with him, my tax is not a problem. If I do it alone, I have to deal with taxes. Taxes are complicated. It allows you to pay her a smaller percentage. So I used to pay my girls 30%. So for every $10,000 they made, I give them 3, and I keep 7. They thought they were on 50%. And I said that the disparity is because of taxes. So you're on 50%, you get to pay the tax first, and then it's 50-50. So really you're paying 30, you tell them you're paying 50, difference is in the tax. That's where the disparity lies, taxes. If they don't believe you, they want to get fresh or whatever, print out some tax forms. That's just all the time, I just print out some random tax forms and say, yeah, sign here, sign this. What is it? It's for the tax, you want to pay the tax or not? Okay, and just sign away. Ooh, fucking sign it, let's throw them away. So they think something's happening, something real is happening. Nothing's happening, so I need to pay your page.
So we started. He's already admitted to tax evasion and fraud.
I mean, it's not a mission.
This is a course he's running. He's teaching people.
That's what he's teaching.
Okay, so that is from the Hustlers University, and it makes sense. That is behind the paywall, and I think it's like $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
But come on, guy. Guy. And I remember when he was on Piers Morgan that he was talking about how he needed to become more acutely aware of how his words were being taken. And so, I mean, I guess you could chalk it up to he never thought he was going to be this big. He never thought he was going to get this much attention. But, bro, just saying that you commit fraud and like this stuff, it's not helping you. It's not helping.
Well, here's the thing, though. No, you are correct. But he's also dealing with people that were paying, $5,000+ behind the paywall and thinking that this wasn't going to get into the public light. So he had the freedom and the wherewithal to kind of say whatever he wanted. But now for any businessman or woman moving forward, no one's going to say anything incriminating because you do build some type of rapport, some type of trust with people that are paying you, $5,000, $10,000 on a consistent basis. I mean, you're in the war room, for heaven's sake, right? So you're dealing with people who you're thinking that, they got your back. When in actuality, what's happening now is they're exposing everything that he's been saying behind the private paywall, and it's making them look terrible.
Facts. I think it's just if he understood how many layers that he would need, like this isn't, if we're taking the law and we're taking morality out of it, and it's like, hey, this is what you're going to do. This is what you're doing. And you're going to tell people and bring people in on it. This was clearly not the way to do it.
Right.
And it even with the overall messaging that he realized, okay, I can't be talking like this because people are going to misunderstand me. They're going to clip me, whatever. Even before all that, again, bro, you can't think that it's smart to just be incriminating yourself. And I think it just comes from, like I said before, and a combination of him not really thinking that it was ever going to get that big, which is questionable because that seems to be what his plan was from the beginning. But also maybe just not understanding what being that big meant and how far people would be willing to dig in to find that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there is a Reddit group or a Discord server of people who are paying $1 a month just so they can all hate watch Hustlers University and all that stuff. I mean, shit, for $1 a month, I would do that. I don't even hate the guy.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's definitely sketchy. But up until now, it's always been about the message. And the fact is that he may not have been the most squeaky clean dude. He may not have been the nicest gentleman, but the things that he was saying resonate with people.
Right,
Mhm.
right. And before we get to the next part, man, this is one of those situations where, and I'm telling this to everybody, you don't have to lie to kick it, And I know a lot of people think that they got to do like scandal just to get ahead, man. The money's going to come to you, but you got to take your time and do it the right way so you won't end up behind bars. That's just, that's the whole thing.
Exactly. And where is he now? Where is he now? Really quick, guys, before we get back into it, if you could do a huge favor for me, hit that like button. That is the biggest thing that helps these parties grow in the algorithm, and it is awesome partying with y'all guys, and I want more of y'all, so let's do it.
He doesn't mean he's doing that now.
Okay, so sorry, not used to having. Okay. David has a question. So the video is this video is before he really attained his online following. Correct. The video of him admitting, yes, him admitting that he was a fraud that misled these girls. Doesn't that mean then Taint is the real thing he said while he was getting famous? I mean, I would assume so, but I don't think that really speaks to whether or not he was HTing, right? Because I mean, he could have been, real about this the entire time. He could have known that he was going to be this big and just misjudged how many people were going to see that specific video. And again, the fact is that, absolutely nail on the hit. It taints his message, and that's again what we're coming. What I want to come down to as a main point by the end of this is: do we need to, something in the realm of, could there have been a better Andrew Tate? Could there have been a better version of Andrew Tate that lasted longer, reached more people? Could there have been somebody else who did hit that role? Whatever the case may be. But like I said, we're just getting through the basics right now. Go ahead.
So let's answer that question real quick. Could have been a better Andrew Tate? Yes. This is what you call, he needed to do what we used to call back in the day is a radio check, which is going back to look at your content to see how you're coming off, to then change your message to have a better message. But him being who he is, he just, you could lose yourself in the whole I'm Andrew Tate. I'm the most Googleable man. You can lose yourself in that if you're not paying attention to what you're saying. Now, he probably listened to certain clips, but I don't think he actually went back to listen to full streams of how he's coming off and checking out his mannerism.
Facts. And we got, David Banner right here. Shout out to the late, great Kevin Samuels. Definitely was doing, I mean, both men were really forging their way. But I don't think Tate would be nearly what he is if Kevin was still here. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he wouldn't even stand close. It'd be two different comparisons. I mean, they'll be on two different paradigms for sure.
I think like Kevin was just a consummate professional. It's just, and I'm not making perfect sentence. Maybe you don't speak English, but welcome to the party. Eventually they would have met. They would have had a conversation, and Kevin would have been able to say, like, listen, bro, I agree with all the things you say. Like, look who I am. I know it's good, but this ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
Sad that we lost him. Sad.
I'm just playing devil. It's a very hard job. I'm not.
So,
Hey.
He said that's what he was doing with these girls. That's what he said he was doing.
Yeah.
The women saying he did this to us.
Oh.
What, you think they're going to look at the bank records and see that the money, he was paying them 50-50? What you think? Let's be honest. If someone admits to what they're doing, just believe them.
But to his defense, I got nothing.
I'm self-snitching.
So what you're telling me is that they got him on frauding the girls and defrauding the government. Is that what you're saying?
I just want you guys to understand, like, just here, we're not even going to the human trafficking, just right there. This man was stealing from the people that were working for him.
Right there.
He didn't even care. He said, I'm getting rich, but fuck you. He didn't care. He was stealing from it. If that's your job, how would you feel about that? Would you not want this person charged for that crime?
Yep.
Listen, if my employer even stole $1 an hour from me, I'd be pissed. Thousands every single month?
Something real is happening.
And so that, again, is that I'm ready to say, hey, this guy is, despite the fact that I agree with a lot of his messaging, maybe I want to slow down on talking about him, slow down on in a positive light, slow down on using his analogies and things just to distance myself from him, even though the messages themselves are things that I agreed with.
Yeah. You know, I think, you know, one of the biggest things everybody's having a problem with, and rightfully so, is the HT. It's really not a necessary thing to do to get money, to move ahead in life. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to coerce or trick anybody into doing something. You really don't, you know. And I kind of want to go back on a comment that I seen from Pyro Don. He says, bro, you're not making any sense. How can you do a radio check? Listen, when you do collabs and you do interviews and stuff like that, you have every ability to go back and look at the video or the collab that you did and just watch that stream to see how you come off. And sometimes when people pay you in the media, you have the wherewithal to say, hey, I need to watch that interview before you guys release it. And these comes from people signing contracts. So Pyron Dunn, I'm not for sure if you're signing contracts and doing any radio checks, but that's how you do radio checks, despite the thousands of people who are clipping the content.
There you go. We got Mike W in the building. Welcome, Mike. So I don't think Andrew Tate knows where Andrew Tate ends and his character begins. I would disagree with that. I think he's very clear on who. I think there's very little bit of character, and that is the problem. Is that he is that guy, and he puts too much of himself out there.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think he put too much of himself out there, man. I like that comment, though. I like that comment. But yeah, I think he put too much of himself out there. Did
I disagree with Mike and then say exactly what Mike said?
You kind of did.
I do that a lot, but I'm picky. So there you go. All right, Mike, you in. We got Jess in the building. Welcome, Jess. Good to see you. As always, welcome to the party. He says, Jocko, to me, is the best male role model on the internet. Yeah, you can't do much better than that, but he might be too manly for a guy like me.
Jocko,
I'm not ready for that.
What is he? Military?
The military dude. He's got the black and white podcast, and he's like, embrace the suck. Every day, it's going to suck, and you love it, because that's what makes you a man. I'm like, I agree with you. But like, I'm a little bit too much of a bitch so far. Yeah. Like, I need a middle ground. Yeah. If Banner's right there with you, said 100% right. You don't have to pimp girls online to get ahead. Yeah. I mean, doesn't mean you can't. Right. Just pay them and pay your taxes. That's the only problem. It's not that he was. It's not the cam business that was the problem so far, from what we know. Yeah. From what we know, no. That's what they're alleging. But from what we actually know, it's not the business itself and what was happening in the business was wrong. It was the way the money was being handled. Yeah. Lee says Tate is pushing a lot of superficial bullshit along with what is probably good advice. Exactly. And that comes back to the main question: that is it the man or is it the message? Is it the man or is it the message? So great comment from Lee here. A couple more before we get back into it. Trey says, it seems like because Tate lived in a place where he felt was corrupt, that he could say what he wanted and not have to worry because he had enough money to pay. 100%. That is exactly. I think you were mentioning before. That's why he moved over there, and he's bragging about it. And he just that's why, when Mike asked about the where the Tate character ends and begins, we were watching a little bit of the Vice documentary in Discord the other day when it first came out, and the Vice guy was like, "Oh, he broke character shortly after he got off camera and whatever." And I was like, he didn't say or do anything that was out of line. Like, what? I don't know what you're saying, bro. Hey, we got Kluk in the building. What is good, brother? What is good? Welcome. Yes, he definitely was asking for the smoke. Kluk says, evening, everybody. What psyop we discussing today? the Matrix.
Nothing's happening. It's like media rich page. You have to have girls. You cannot do a business relationship with a female. I'll tell you why. Women have sex with somebody. If they're not fucking you, they're fucking somebody else. And that other person she's fucking is going to have the control over her mind as opposed to you. And if he controls her mind and you don't control her mind, once she starts to pick it up a bit after a few weeks, a few months, whatever, and realizes how to make money on her own, or she's going to run off and pay her boyfriend, or them to go traveling in Southeast Asia, and she's going to work as she goes, or she's going to go to her boyfriend and say, look, fuck you type for me. Oh yeah, you're always working. I have to do traveling and you can't come. I want to bring you with me. Traveling's a great one because the thing about this business is mobile. If you can find a good Airbnb with good internet, you can run it somewhere else. So it's a good little caveat to throw in. You're always working. Why don't you work for me so we spend more time together? What if you doing what? So a lot of webcam business. Oh, I don't want to do that. So okay, I know you don't want to do that, but listen, come, let's have a meeting. Let's just talk about it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Fine. Let me explain it to you properly. In fact, I'll bring one of the girls who works for me. You, the bottom bitch, the new girl, go out for fucking a nice dinner. Your bottom bitch is the one who does the selling. You don't do the selling. The girl has to hear from the girl. And this is why your bottom bitch has to be trained. So I said it's so important to have a good first girl.
Remember Glenn
Okay, I was gonna say I thought he was gonna say it. Jessica comes in a second.
Maxwell? That was the girl that recruited for Jeffrey Epstein.
So yeah, what he just explained was having his own Ghislaine Maxwell, whatever you have to say. And on top of that, Jess has a great comment here saying it's like that Bill Cosby had a good message, but we cannot accept what he says now because he doesn't have good morals. And that doesn't, that's perfectly analogous. Hey, different shade of purple. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. I agree. Jess is on point because it doesn't mean that you can't take the lessons and messages of the Cosby Show episodes that aired at that time. It doesn't change what those messages are. Certainly changes how we look at them, but not quite the same. You're getting ahead of me, Poop City. Don't worry, we are getting there. Yes, we are. Anything? You good?
No, good, man. I like the comments. Everybody's right on point, man. We're rocking and rolling.
Let's go. Let's party.
Almost identical to what he's talking about here.
You guys remember? So this is why this is important, this portion right here. It doesn't prove anything, but it is one of the little pieces of evidence that they add in for the whole trafficking charge. Basically, he has a woman, okay, who used to be a former police officer in Romania. She's the one who does the recruiting, the managing of the women. Why? Because women are much more likely to be roped into these kinds of things if they're hearing it from another woman. So when he sets up his organization, right, because they're accusing him of running a criminal organization, he has the woman who he calls his bottom, right, to recruit the other women. Okay, now, there's some transcripts. Because they did some wiretaps, they see their phones, they see all their technology.
Okay, so before we go there, since Poop City was getting ahead of me, let's take a look at the video that he was talking about, where what did he say? That two of the girls were speaking out. Shout out to Confidence Creator, I think that's his name. Sorry, brother, but thank you. Andrew Tate victims speak out for the first time in English.
Andrew Tate's girls speak out. Roll a clip.
I've never seen any of them being aggressive or rude. They started from zero. They lived in a shelter with their mom and they had no food. They had no money.
Okay, so already that's not even necessarily a good thing because that does seem on its face potentially predatory.
Yeah.
But we're trying to be fair. Power Dan says, no, you're missing a critical piece of the puzzle, guys. None of these girls were strangers. They were already women he dated. That, as far as I understand, that is true, but that doesn't mean that you can't commit the crimes that he's being accused of just because you're dating somebody. You can HT somebody that you're dating.
Well, and he also did that what they consider is called the lover boy. He did the lover boy thing with them too. So
yeah, I'd never really heard that term before.
Yeah, I heard it a time or two. I thought it was something different. But in the eyes of the law, lover boy is basically someone who is tricking them that, hey, you're gonna be with me, and then it turns out to be something else.
So it's I mean, it's basically just a nicer way to say a pimp. Is that what we're really talking about?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which girl's brainwashed? Which girl's brainwashed? Power Don, sorry about that, said, I can't recruit someone I'm already. What are you putting already? Are you already dating them or are you not already dating them? I love when people try to make the spice up their things and use the wrong things. Like Mikey Story the other day was saying whom when it was supposed to be who. I can't recruit someone I'm already dating, can I? Absolutely you can. Or
yes, you can.
Doesn't
Absolutely.
that at least complicate things? Well, sure, complicate these things. I don't think this is open and shut. Nobody said it was open and shut. Epstein's victims were strangers. So we have a number of things here. So number one, absolutely, you can recruit somebody that you're dating.
Yep.
That is exactly what Epstein was doing through Ghislaine Maxwell. They were strangers to Epstein on purpose. So then doesn't it at least complicate things? Exactly. That is why we're talking about this. And I agree with you. It is not open and shut. And that is why we are trying to parse through all of this stuff just to figure out what is going on. We're not trying to pick a side. We're not trying to ride for this person. We're not trying to do any of that. We're just trying to figure out what is going on, because this guy, Andrew Tate, has a lot of influence on even myself and a lot of the people that have influence elsewhere in the world, whether positive or negative. So I want to know what that really is. So hey, we got Ian Undercover in the building. Welcome. Is that a sax in your picture? I love that. It's a very fair and balanced, like Bill O'Reilly back in the day. I mean, I did watch Bill O'Reilly back in the day with my dad. I don't know if he was fair and balanced, but I appreciate it, and I do my best. Welcome to the party, Ian. Very glad you are here. Kluk says, not gonna lie, I'm kind of just sick of the allegation culture we live in. Even if there's no real evidence, people circle like vultures to make a carcass to feed off of. Yep.
Yeah. When it hits that media, man, it's kind of really no turning back. Once people put those allegations out there about you, you know.
It's just boredom. It's just boredom. People have nothing better to do, so they do this. So remember, these are the two quote-unquote victims.
Ai fost amenințată?
No, n-am fost.
Let's back that up. I think that was mid-sentence.
Food. They had no money.
Ai fost amenințată?
Nu, n-am fost niciodată. Dacă eram amenințată, automat nu mai eram idiotă să stau în casa asta. Spuneau că fetele care veneau la ei acasă erau intimidate.
Okay, well, it's not English. Let's get rid of these.
Well, you know, the thing that trips me out is now we know that the girls, they are a real thing. And what the prosecution is doing is putting out as much information out there about him as possible, because it doesn't matter for them in the public eye how when he started saying what he was saying. As long as it lines up, that's all they're worried about. You know, because this is different. You're looking at people trying to win a case over you, man. Okay. These people in the law and the government, they're looking for you to do wrong. Everyone's like one step from doing something wrong. You're one step from running a kid over or hitting a pedestrian. And as soon as you do that, you got that driver's license, you're going to get in trouble for doing something wrong, even if you didn't intend to do it. So they're out to make sure that did you not cross that T? No, you didn't cross that T. Well, this is wrong. Boom, you're out of here. You know, so this is what's happening to them, man. And on top of that, and I said this before, when you're so flashy and arrogant with your money, they don't like that. They don't like it, man. You know, it just rubs them the wrong way. And I know we feel like, well, it's my money, but in actuality, it's not your money. You work for it, but they can freeze your bank account. So it's not yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have really the wherewithal to really keep it for yourself. It's not yours.
Well said. Let's give a shout out to Abday. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. You'd be in the club with everybody else I pronounced wrong, but welcome to the party. Glad you are here. Pyro Don says, okay, bear with me, guys. All right, everybody bear down. We're bearing with Pyro Don right now. Tate said he flew all 5 of the girls in and sat all of them down and explained exactly what was what. So at the time of the proposal, they all knew they were not exclusive. And then goes on to say, how is that HT? So
okay, so
good.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Finish your point. And I'll tell them how.
I was just going to say, from what I know, this may have been the beginning of those 5 girls. But he's talked about how he has over 70 girls in different locations and whatever. So maybe those 5 women were not HT'd. But that doesn't mean that later women weren't acquired by not great means.
Yeah. So what's happening, and from my research, these women, all of them, they're under the conditions of HT. It's not to say that he actually did it, but they're under the conditions of being so. So when you read through the reports, the detailed reports, you'll start to notice that some of the girls saying like, "Well, I felt like I couldn't leave." So you would hear Andrew Tate and his brother say, "Well, no, they could leave anytime they want to." Well, which one is true? You felt
Right.
like you couldn't leave, so they were under the conditions of HT, which is why he's being detained to find out if they were really being HT'd.
Right. And I certainly fall on the side that, like, if you felt like you couldn't leave, but they didn't do anything, you just felt like that, then that's
Yeah.
not on them. There's not, I mean, I can't do anything to not hold you hostage and make you feel like I'm not holding you hostage if you decide that you feel like you're being held hostage.
Right.
Can you escape? Can you walk out the front door? Do you have a passport? Do they take your passport? What is it? What is the conversation to get your passport back? I mean, all of these things are relevant. And it's scary how far these like the allegation of HT that can mean so many wildly different things. And when you have a guy who is like Andrew Tate, even if it's the most mild version of like, okay, it was this lover boy thing, and you know, like Pyro Don was talking about, where it was 5 girls, her who was doing, and they were all whatever. That's still against the law, but I mean, you know, I speed, I do drugs, like we all break the law, we all do things. It's not super kosher in our own way. It's just, you know, there's certain red lines that we draw.
Well, and here's the biggest red flag before you move on. The fact that he moved to Romania, and Romania is considered one of the biggest areas for HT, that's a red flag in itself.
Yeah. And he was talking about how that is, Ian saying 75 women in 4 locations at the end. And that is speaking to the notion that Romania is known for that. And they don't want their biggest potential alleged HTer out there bragging about the fact that he's doing it.
Right.
I mean, I'm not mad at it. If
It's self-snitching.
Exactly. I mean, if he's really doing it, then
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly.
All right, so let's go back to this. So yeah, I'm gonna pull some comments down. So, they're intimidated by the security guards. All right, let's back this up because I was playing a little.
Ooh, they had no money.
Ai
Okay.
fost
Well,
amenințată.
were you ever threatened? Let me just read it. Nope, wrong button. Oh God damn it!
No.
So were you ever threatened? If I was ever threatened, I wasn't stupid enough to stay in that house. They were saying that the girls who came to the house were intimidated by security guards with guns. I can say that no one from their security team ever intimidated anyone. They don't have their guns out in sight to intimidate girls or to do other stuff. This looks like it's in English.
Tate.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
I have lots of tattoos, different ones. The Harry Potter tattoo, the moon and the sun.
Am semănat
Why is
stângă
it so
tatuajul
fucking
ăsta
small?
care scrie Tate Girl, pe
Da.
care l-am făcut din respect pentru ei.
Are you Tate's property?
I'm no one's property.
I am no one's property.
Yeah.
Now, we're fair over here. That's what you would say.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're going based on what we know and what we don't, that's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said. So, yeah. Marlon was undercover the whole time, and he fucking, oh, that would be awesome. Imagine Fresh and Fit was a whole operation just to catch Andrew Tate. That would be amazing. That would be
amazing. That'd be the biggest bust in history.
That would be awesome. Bowdon says it's somewhere in that same clip the presenters are playing. We'll get there. Fruit City says one of these girls got kicked out for barfing on the set and then went to the police too. So I heard that as well. There were more than, there was, it doesn't have to be the original 5. And Pyrodon says, I think we need an attorney in the chat. Hey, if anybody wants to hit up TLA and he is down to come on my channel right now, I absolutely will bring him up. But I don't know any attorneys other than him. So if you do, let him know. I need to know if a fly girl in an under if I fly a girl under false pretenses, says Pyrodan, but I freely allow her to choose whether she wants to stay and do cam work or leave if that is HT. I don't think so. I think that that's just kind of just generally shitty, but I certainly wouldn't, because I don't know. What do you think?
Well,
Like,
the
yeah,
moment you
we're
touch,
gonna fly and hang out, and then it turns into something different.
no, that's it's not HT, but
Right.
it's in the form of a little like low key kidnapping. You tell somebody they can't leave, now you're holding them against their will, you know.
And Jess says that's fraud. So that's I mean, fraud is more specifically with money. I think that might be just a little bit more of a buyer beware situation. As long as Pyro said, that like they can leave and do whatever. But I did lie to you, and I flew you out here, and I'm not actually interested in you. This is what I want to do. I think that's fucked up, but I don't even know if that would be illegal. Before we hop back in, Poop City says that attorney breaking down the Tate video says he is a defense attorney. Do you see any defense or just a character assassination? Homie, that's not how lawyers work. Lawyers know the law, and then they are able to argue either side based on the facts that are presented. So if he's a defense attorney, that doesn't mean he's just going to play defense for everybody. It just means that in his line of work, he usually is the defending the accused, as opposed to being a prosecutor. It has nothing to do with being a defense attorney at all. I mean, decent question, but wrong. Pyro says, "Oh, it's shady, no question. But to me, when I listen to Tate, that's what he did, because 3 girls left immediately, only 2 stayed in the clip. You'll hear it eventually. Well." Maybe. I mean, and again, that's what we're trying to figure out. We're trying to get all of this information in one place with 2 fair people who understand at least a little bit of not the HT world, but you know, the red pill world, the dealing with women, all of that stuff, and see what is it that we see, and do you guys see it too? So let's finish this piece and get back to the facts and. So we've been good friends since 2 years ago. You cannot describe me if I'm a victim. You cannot describe me as a victim if I'm not a victim. That, I mean, again, it's very easy for you to control women enough for them to be like, that's what the whole blink if you need help is, that you're not in a position to speak out. But that's all we're working with right now.
Yeah.
Luke says, I don't see any case here as people projecting what they want to on Tate because he's an easy target. Combat with his diehard defenders, that all ends up happening is free promo for Tate. Exactly. And this is another point that I wanted to bring up, is that I think because of the fact that so much of what got Tate to where he was the flashy stuff, the spicy stuff, the controversial stuff. Even though most of what he says wasn't that wild, especially if it's in context, would it have been, again, bring back the question, would it be better, or would it have been better for him to have, done his thing in a better way? Or would he have never reached this many people if he wasn't as flashy? What do you think about
No, he definitely could have done it in a better way. Listen, he could have taken some of his money and did a full national press run on Good Morning America, on MSNBC. Like if he got the Pierce Morgan, which Pierce Morgan got kicked off of whatever he got kicked off, but still, you pay these media companies to do press releases, and they're anywhere between $5,000 to $35,000 if you want to be on their show. Now, if they want you, they'll pay you to be there, fly you in, all that type of stuff. But yeah, he definitely could have had a way better message and still made just as much of an impact as he's doing right now by happenstance.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we just do not have enough information. So we're trying to get it all together, and we're trying not to be the ones that are jumping on what our side would say. We are the ones who, if we didn't care about the truth, if we didn't care about reality, if we didn't care about the well-being of these women, they'd be like, oh, Tachi, we'd never do this. It was only blah, blah, blah. You don't know it was only 5 girls. You don't know it was only this, that, whatever. And so that's why the original poll question was whether or not you were willing to put your reputation to defend this man. And before, you know, I broke it down, but if you didn't get to see it, before you're thinking about it, do you think, Pyrodon, do you think that Andrew Tate would bail you out of jail? You know, he said, don't worry, I got you. Give me a few minutes. I'll get you the timestamps. No problem. Thank you, sir. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's not that simple. It's not that simple.
Now you know.
Oh, wrong.
So there's some conversations that they're using now. I want you to also know the context of the country's in. Andrew Tate is a foreigner living in Romania as a rich person.
Trying to fucking steal from the government.
And he's also spoken about the reason why he left the UK to go to Romania is because, you know what I mean, laws are a little bit lax. They're not like, it's not as repressive. So this is how he talks about Romania and going to jail there, okay? This is pulled from his PC, and then it was leaked to the press, okay? So this is something that they got.
Romanian courts, so there's a, oh no, not court in Romania. They're corruption-free, as we all know. They put me in jail, I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Boom, boom, this is hose, this sells mine. I'm ready, come in there, I don't give a fuck. Take your court. Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I have committed multiple felonies.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying, bro. What do you want me to do?
Oh my god.
What do you want me to do? I can't ride with you. I can't ride with you.
No, man. Nobody can. Nobody can, man.
I think so many of the things that he says are good ideas. But I can't ride with you. I can't ride with you if you're saying shit like that. I mean, come on. Listen to this one more time.
They're corruption-free, as we all know. They put me in jail, I'm gonna walk in there with a pile of money like this. Boom, 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 this is hose, this sells mine. I'm ready, come in there, I don't give a fuck.
Come on, man.
Get me out of jail. The law says you're guilty. I said get me out of jail. Don't go see a lawyer to talk about the law. I have committed multiple felonies. How much does it cost to make this all go away? Also, when you're real G's, that you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You gotta go to Poland, you gotta go to
Back
Warsaw,
to the lawyer.
Dubai, Miami, even who wants to take confidential notes. I'm all over the place. So I end up with all these chicks just stuck in their house, sitting there, bored, completely in love with me. And of course, they don't go out. They're not allowed out. You stay in the house. You don't go nowhere. You're not, no restaurants, no clubs, nothing.
But here's even the kicker. Looking at
I thought it was sarcasm.
private videos that are part of the police file from the following passages from the context of this content, there is no doubt a deep lack of respect for the legal norms and a total indifference to the social protected values that the defendant gives proof of. Also, the attitude of disregard towards women in general, which he perceives only as a mean of getting his content released. In other words, making money. The judge cannot agree with the support of the defense in the sense that the video contents presents only one character and cannot be taken into account since the defendant exhibits the same attitude in the relations with the injured persons and is evident from the content of the conversations that are in these criminal prosecution files.
Basically, the judge like, nah.
Okay, I am so glad that they are about to, because I was like, all right, we got to go back through that because he was talking kind of fast. And so thank you. Shout out to Aaron Preach for breaking this down for us real quick, though. So yeah, just was saying that, dang, the Airheads gave away 80%. We can't trust what they say, especially when they have tattoos. And not sure if it was sarcasm. I took it as sarcasm. I don't know. Maybe Jess can clear it up. He thought he was going to go to those people's country and embarrass them. Romania said enough. Facts. Pyrodon says, bro, I'm going to growing to fame the way in the viral way he did leaves you exposed because you go from being a normal person expecting to have a predictable trajectory to fame, and then boom, you're more famous than Trump. But you were just saying about the earlier video before he blew up, how he knew all of this was going to happen. So how is that the case?
Yeah.
Facts, Jess. Facts, Jess.
The way you act in real life is how you're talking about these videos. So I'm not going to not use them as evidence. I cannot use them as evidence because they match. Let's get to the transcripts. Because people are saying...
Wait, you got more?
When I say, listen, and just a pro tip, if you're a criminal watching, do not use WhatsApp, okay? Do not use WhatsApp to do any of your criminal activity. They keep a record. There are records, there are logs, and it's easily traceable. Okay?
Bro, I'm going to tell you this. Don't use your phone. Do not use your phone.
Don't use the internet at all.
Yeah, right on paper. When you're in middle school, you pass a note to a girl. Even then, split it up. 3 notes. You need codes on codes on codes. I mean, there's a reason the whole Italian triangle food with pepperoni gate thing happened.
Yeah.
They got caught, but it was going on for a while. Stay past 10. Yeah. When do I ever dip off before 10? Oh, well, 10 what time? I mean, I'm always here. All these accusations were already prosecuted and failed in England. A case closed. Romania is corrupt enough to take these cases again for their political gains. Possibly. Very possibly. But also what is possible is that there is new information that we don't have. So, I mean, again, that's if you're willing to die on this hill, what happens when it comes out that everything was true?
I've had friends that were in instances where they crossed the borders and they have certain software that can tap in your phone and get the deleted items. You can always go get the deleted items.
Yep.
So that's the reason why they have burner phones. Don't use your phone. Actually, you have to use a phone, crack it, and keep on going. You know those flip phones? That's pretty much what you would have to use.
All right.
But,
So
yeah, I digress.
So these are leaked transcripts from the stenographer, either in the court case or leaked from the prosecutor's office. The reason why they're doing this is they like the media attention being involved in this. The prosecutor may probably have some ego involved, and he wants to let everybody know I'm going to be the person who takes down Andrew Tate. And listen, it only matters if he's got evidence to back it up, and he's done some digging. And it seems that during their 8 months of searching and their raids on the compound, they found quite a lot.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is how Andrew Tate apparently manipulates one of the victims to fly to Romania.
Let me get rid of that, man. I think he's just reading it straight up, but
8 months.
say again.
I say 8 months of documentation. That's a lot. That's a lot of paperwork. That's a lot of paperwork. That's a lot of footage. That's a lot of audio. It's a lot, man.
And then again, just to play devil's advocate, you know, I was just I saw a TikTok yesterday that kind of freaked me out because it was a dude. I don't know if it was a skit or if it was real or whatever, but it was just a middle-aged dude, and he was kind of, you know, frazzled. He was like, my parents just got scammed for $26,000. Somebody used AI technology and all my social media to replicate my voice and call my parents and tell them that, you know, I was in trouble or whatever. I needed $26,000. And the technology is out there and so on and so forth. And so we were like, yo, family needs a code word. If I'm ever like, because I would, of any of my siblings, I would be like, Dad, I'm in trouble. I need $50K now. So I was like, yo, we need a password. Like, if anything goes down, people are you know, with this deep fake technology, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Tate did not use burner phones. He recorded himself and put it online. This dummy deserves what he gets. And as much as I like what he says, I cannot at all disagree with that. Not at all.
Then discusses said victim as a commodity to be used for making money.
So again, it says Andrew Tate manipulates one of the victims into flying to Romania by promising marriage, then discusses said victim as a commodity to be used for making money. So this is directly what Pyro, what you were asking before. So again, I don't know Romanian laws. I don't really even know the American laws on HT when it comes to that stuff. So let's see what they got to say.
Andrew Tate says, you have to understand that once you're mine, might be mine forever. A woman never leaves her man. I'll be the last man in your life. What do we do if we fall in love and I kidnap you to bring you to Bucharest? And then the girl replies, I don't think it's kidnapping if I want to come. First,
okay, so that's right there. She said, he said, what do we do? Where are we? What do we do if we fall in love and I kidnap you to Bucharest? Yeah. That is the word kidnap, but that's very casual. And then she immediately says, I don't think it's kidnapping if I want to come.
But who uses the word kidnap when you're talking to somebody in a text message or whatever? I mean, I mean, I get it, but I haven't used it. You know,
I will say, I mean, you know, I was 17 and my girlfriend was living at her parents' house, but I talked about kidnapping her all the time because she was, you know, we lived with our parents. I was like, oh, I'm gonna kidnap you and we'll go hang out and do that. But as a grown ass man, I don't know. But again, when you, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. I have to see in your eyes that you will never be able to live without me, and then I can trust you to show you everything. Bring a ring when you come. This is what the girl said. He says, can you be loving enough to be a wife, to always be on my side wherever I go, to talk to zero men besides me? You have to move to Romania with me to keep an eye on you. You're mine. Don't ever forget that. And she says, but can I trust you? He says, yes, you can. We'll meet in Romania, and I want to know you're committed. and serious about marriage. Yes, I'm serious. And when she
So that's all him talking about marrying this woman. Hey, we got Veronica in the building. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Said, oh my God, who cares? It is the way you manipulate the language. When it's not serious, it's not serious. Well, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. My whole channel is about semantic obfuscation, how people take words and twist them to destroy the language that we have and destroy the connections that we have as a society. So I completely agree with you. Why I care about this particularly is because there are thousands and maybe millions of young people who listen to this man and see him as a god. And if he is, we're calling it HT, if he is an HTer, then there are millions of young boys who are looking up to an HTer. And if he's not an HTer, then we can see this whole matrix thing that he talks about is exactly right. So that's why. Tens live in another world. Super facts. 10 years ago, the words used were more lax and taken less literal by the entire internet. Yep, that's, again, you will hear it a million times on this channel. Semantic obfuscation. Taking words and making them mean the opposite or something different than what they actually mean, so that you can use them appropriately to always make yourself look good and the other person look bad. Good.
I'll tell you what, let's take a moment and let's get the likes up just a little bit. I usually won't say that, but
Thank
you
you, thank you,
guys,
thank
this
you.
is good content. This is good content.
Isn't it? I feel like it. So to Darshan, when you use the word kidnapping, so later he can say it was consensual. He used the word kidnapping. Oh, so if he, she's saying if he was quote unquote playfully saying, if I can I kidnap you, and then actually kidnaps her, that's plausible deniability. That like, no, that's just what we do. That's just how we talk. Smart, Jess, smart. Y'all talking to each other. I saw the timestamps, but I don't have a link. I don't think you can post links in the YouTube chat, but the Discord link is right in the description. And if you would like to join that, it is completely free. You can drop any link that you like, and we'll pull it up. Diviner Rod is back. Hey, said most of this is hearsay. Even the text have limited validity in a court. Facts. Don, Dr. Banner, maybe one day I may have to ride. What? Doctor, what am I don't know what this. I don't know what this is. Veronica says, but that's when her response is important. If she went on her own, it's not kidnapping. But if he is guilty, it needs to be proven, because I am completely against HT. I mean, I think we all are. Is anybody in favor of HT here? I would sure hope not. But that is exactly the point, Veronica, is that we want to know the truth, because, you know, whether you or that person doesn't like Andrew Tate, the messages that he says resonate with me. I try to be a good person, but I'm also a grown man. Those messages also resonate with 10, 12, 15-year-old boys who have not grown in to understand the nuance that comes with all that.
Right.
And so whether or not we take Andrew Tate as the top G, people do. And so that's what we're doing here.
gets there, he's like, well, we're not getting married. I want to turn you into a cam girl. Okay. So they're basically establishing that the way that he's getting these people involved in the whole business is through fraud. And if you remember what the guy said earlier in regards to some of the criteria that need to be met, okay, one of them is fraud. And that's what they're trying to establish with these conversations when they're released. So even though this conversation doesn't seem bad to you, you have to understand by the letter of the law and how they define human trafficking. This is one of those elements that they might incorporate in order to make that charge stick. Basically, he wants to tell these people,
hold up, did you hit the subscribe button? Yo, hit that subscribe button. This is a fucking party. You don't want to miss the next one. Come on.
Hey, I'm running a cannabis business. Come down. He's like, I want to marry you. You're going to fall in love with me. You're going to fall in love with me. He gets him all the way down to Romania inside of his compound. Then he springs it on him with who? His bottom. So Andrew Tate says, you're not stupid. And he's talking to one of the victims. You're not stupid. And you can probably guess how I make so much money. I have to hide what I'm really doing. And the victim says, a webcam? And he says, I've been doing this for a long time with a team of girls working on video chat. The company was fake, but this is how I laundered my dirty money.
You can't say that.
No, you can't.
You can't say that. That's what's called the admission of a felony.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
My dude is off the chain.
A medal of pride is also like, oh, wrong one. Well, I was trying to give you the laugh. There we go. Pyro says, okay, do yourselves a huge favor and grab some context from the lawyer's video by skipping ahead to, I don't have the lawyer's video. I don't know where that is. So again, if you'd like to join the Discord and drop the link, I am happy to check that out. But don't have that here. Just says, FYI, even if you consent in the beginning, consent may be withdrawn at any time. Just because you wanted to go in the beginning didn't mean she was okay with it later after she saw the real circumstances. And that goes for even if he wasn't being dishonest. I think, you know, when you get, I don't know what they call it, but like if he's in you and you're going along with it and then you're like, oh, actually, I don't want any. That gets a little slippery. I still believe that, you know, withdrawing consent is a thing. But here, what Jez is talking about, absolutely. Ryan says, I agree. As a Christian, I don't agree with his lifestyle, but we have to stand by innocent until proven guilty. 100%. 100%. Dylan says, the only reason Andrew Tate is on fire is because he pissed off the Matrix. Maybe. We're going to find out real soon. No doubt they can get him on the fraud charges, but I don't believe the HT stuff. That's kind of where I'm sitting. I'm looking for more information to come out. I would need more information to come out on the HT stuff, but looks like he's going to jail for fraud.
Yeah.
I don't really know how else we could, you know, how we could square that circle.
Some of the girls who work for me, I use them to do other things, to move money or illegal things, documents, and I will never do that with you. Basically telling the girl you're different from the others. I make them do the really illegal.
That's a good question. Any film where the text is coming from that they're reading? I'm not sure, but
from WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Okay, I was gonna say I'm not sure exactly where, but contact. So thank you, Darshan, from WhatsApp directly to these women.
Legal stuff. Again, they have it right here in the wiretaps. Okay, him admitting to this stuff. This is going to be used in court, and you're going to have a hard time explaining this one away. What is this money laundering that you were doing?
You can't go to the court and be like, hey, what happened was... Scratch your head and
yeah.
figure it out.
Okay, so now here comes the next part. This is, I think, the biggest one.
Oh, Jesus. There's more.
Tate's angels, meaning the bottom, the two women.
Just read that. I'm not moving.
This is what it reads.
Charlie's, you know what to say, host?
Hey, man, listen. These are the women who work for him. The Ghislaine Maxwells. If you don't make money, we're going to have a problem. Punch yourself in the mouth until I arrive, because then I'll give you another 10. You incurable stuff. And the other girl says, I'll break you when I get there. And the victim says, what did I do? And the bottom is, you have 1 hour and 10 minutes to disappear. And the victim says, but what did I do? You're down 20%, 4 days since you posted. And she says, if Andrew looks to see you, if you posted TikToks, you won't even have time to pack. You're flying off the balcony straight away. So what does this conversation really mean? This is where this is important. It might not mean much to y'all because you're like, well, is it? When break it down, boys. Break it down, boys.
Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I want to address this from Pyrodon.
Yeah.
So he says the withdrawal of consent thing is complete hogwash, though. He says, I feel like it's a form of entrapment. How can I give you permission to drink my soda, then change my mind when you've already drank half of it? By changing your mind and saying, well, I already consented to you drinking half of it, but now I've changed my mind. I would like my soda. So you
like I invited you over. I invited you over to my house, but you know what? Now I don't want you here anymore. You know. So it's just, listen. Anything that's happening with Andrew Tate in the eyes of the court on paper, it reads terrible. Okay, it reads terrible, and it just looks guilty as all outdoors, man. No matter how we try to spin it and say like his message was good and everything like that, they're trying to put him locked away for a long time, man.
Shout out to that hustle and grind life. Know exactly what's good. Not hiding from it at all. Said every content creator birdie. Thank Tate for boosting their audience by 300%. You are not wrong, brother. You are not wrong, brother. Hey, we doing the damn thing. Welcome to the party. That's how we do.
The coercion element, the aspect of like lying about what they're really going to be doing there. The fact that this girl who works for Tate is saying she's going to be punching the girl 10 times when she gets there. That there's these threats of violence. The one saying like Andrew Tate gets home, you're going to be flying off the balcony. Is that literally? Probably not. But there is some element there of threats of potential violence if you don't do what's needed. When you take that to court, and these are conversations that are happening in private.
And this is exactly what Darshan was just saying. Is that
Yeah.
when it's on, when you say it, like we were just talking about the kidnapping line, like, okay, whatever, when it's on paper, and they don't have to give you, I love giving you guys the context because I want you guys to understand. But in court, you kidding? They're gonna take just that line. They're not gonna show that she said, "Oh, it's not kidnapping. If I want to come, I want to."
Yeah.
They're not gonna show that.
Especially if it's in front of a jury. Once a jury hears something, they can't unhear it. It's already stuck in their mind. So when they see the evidence and they read it, it's going to be stuck in their mind.
That hustle
This
and grind
doesn't
life
look
thing-
good.
Yeah, it definitely looks bad. But the hustle and grind life says this is taxes. So write a check 100% and move on. Well, that's really what we're trying to determine. Hustle and grind. We're trying to determine, is it just the tax stuff? Because if it's just white collar crime, then I gotta be honest, I don't really care because Epstein and Maxwell's list still ain't even out there. So if we're going after HTers, let's start at the top. But also, just because they were at the top and Andrew Tate might be HTing at this level, don't mean that that's okay. So nuance. Not many of us know how to deal with that anymore, right? Frio says this it just seems fake. People stuck on the internet as their mafiosos. It's not fake though. Like the fact is he is in jail. So what part is fake? The accusations? Maybe. But the reality that this is happening to him and he is sitting in a cell and that he is facing charges, that is real. It don't matter if it's made up. It's real. So let's be honest. These two had a beef with Fresh and Fit, and so what does that mean? I've never seen them cover anything, even with Fresh. They were defending Fresh and Fit at one point after the beef. So no, Ab and Preach are in my opinion, straight down the line. They have I look up to them because of that. I feel like they have their team. They have their opinions. They have their whatever, but especially when it comes to stuff like the Jubilee videos and some chick is acting like way out there. You always get one of them be like, well, let's just see. And maybe they might be like, nah, but they throw the ideas out there. So it's not like they're just pushing their own ideology at all. Shout out to Darshan, 100% right. This is how is this going to read to a jury? Tate is a misleading pimp that misleads these women. Scary, scary, scary. All right, let's finish up with this.
You understand? They're going to take this into strong consideration when they're making their case. They're like, how do you explain this stuff? Oh, we're just joking. We're not going to actually make her. Well, then why is the victim terrified? Oh, she's just lying. You think that's going to really be a real defense in court?
The thing is, there's some people that are not going to believe that.
Of course.
There's going to be a lot of guys going to be like, yeah, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. And you know why? Because they actually talk like that. They talk like that with their girls. The girls, I'm saying guys, but I'm talking girls.
That's
do
a
the
good
same
point.
Shit. Oh my god! I swear.
And as he says that, I don't know if this is the point that he's getting to, because he talks in a weird way sometimes, and he's like, "That's how they talk. That's how they talk."
Yeah.
I think he's saying what we were saying is that it's just kind of a playful mannerism that they have. But again, the jury's not going to know that. At least not until way later, when the cross-examination, because certainly Tate's lawyers are not going to bring that up,
right?
Unless they want to get out in front of it. I don't know. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I don't know how this shit works. But I'm just, again, it looks bad. Yeah, facts. The RPay charges are for the PR bullet. Yup. They'll make a deal for the tax money because he's hidden it well. Woke culture hates due process, and this plays right into it. That is true. That is not mutually. That is mutually exclusive from the notion that this man could be doing what he is accused of doing. Divide and run. And finally, Gimel said, "Where's the proof? Andrew, did any of this? People talk BS on the net. Did really take 70% and give them 30? Again, that is why we are asking these questions.
I'm gonna punch you in your mouth, and people talk like that on a regular basis. I was astonished at the fact, the language that some people use with their friends or with their loved ones. Yeah, but it's just, I'm just talking. It's just this, it's just that. Whenever you talk to them or whenever you check them, so yo, listen, you cannot talk to me any kind of way. You can't talk to me about you're gonna punch me in my face. You can't tell me that you're gonna kick me in my throat. You can't do shit like that. But you know, man, it's just talk. It ain't real.
These people are going to be super motivated to do this. Tate moved from the UK to Romania because the justice in the UK said it was too prejudicial and they were going to come after him strong. Romania is more lax. You went to Romania, acted a fool, wanted to say anything and do anything and engage in illegal activity. Listen, you fucked around and you found out. You got to hold that L. Nobody told you to self-snitch.
He was a kickboxing champion.
Not fucked around. That's not
like people just getting on camera and just calmly admitting to criminal activity is so crazy to me. People say, why would anybody do that? Why would people do that and be a public personality? Because some people got ego. Because some people don't know how to stay away from the fucking cameras because they head too big. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried, right? Dude ran FTX. Turned out to be a big old fraudster. After the fraud was discovered, you know what this idiot was doing? He was getting on live.
Oh, Gilmar, you're in sorry. Yeah, you're in the Hustlers University? I would love to hear from you if you are a paying member of the Hustlers University.
Television doing interviews incriminating himself further, and those interviews that he did after being found out are going to be used against him in court. Why? Because some people can't stop themselves from doing stupid fucking things. And I'm sure if he had a lawyer at the time and caught like telling him what to do, they would say don't do any interviews, but he couldn't help himself. Why? Because his ego.
I'm just really here to see where it goes. I'm gonna see where it goes, because like Abba said, if that's what they're leaking to the press, they got some bigger thing. Bangers, bars, jail bars, but they got something bigger, and what they're going to do to court is going to be something else. It's going to be something crazier.
All right, and so that's basically their video. So Gilma is actually a member of the Hustlers University. And did he really do it? I don't know. Again, that is why I'm asking the questions. I do not know, and I'm not looking to try him in the court of public opinion. I believe everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But what is it that if you are part of this program, then you have a better or at least a wider scope of perspective on this man than any of us. Doesn't mean you have a better perspective. It just means you have a wider perspective. So when you say that, or when if you're taking the position that this is all fake and you know that he didn't do any of the HT stuff, then where do you get that information, or where is it something that you feel based on how he's talked to you, or where does that come from?
That, and also what type of PR would anyone want to have with these allegations attached to their name? You're thinking about history. Let's say it is fake, right? For the sake of this, let's humor this dude. Let's say it is fake. Why in the world throughout your history, part of your legacy, you would want to have attached that the allegations of HT, fraud, evasion, pimping, like why would you want that attached to you?
Yeah. And just it's, I mean, just makes, as David said, just makes a great point. Who wants to pretend they abuse women and evade taxes even as a persona?
Yeah.
But let me show you something. This, I'm not going to dox you, don't worry, but this is a 19-year-old man. This is what we're talking about. And I'm not picking on you for ego. Evading taxes absolutely is based. But what I'm saying is that at 19 years old, you don't really have an idea of what the reasoning and the actual experiential, the experience of dealing with taxes and why you conceptually understand why evading taxes is bad or is based. I mean, but the fact is, it's still the law, and so while it may be based to do things inside the law to evade taxes, it is not based to break the law.
Yeah.
As someone who's done it many times, it's
listen, I don't want to come off as a goody two shoes, but I'm going to tell you this though. When it comes to jail and prison, that's not a place where you want to be. You don't want to even be close to that place. You don't want to be behind bars when you realize that you can do something correct. Evading your taxes, silly. HTing people, silly. Lying on whatever, it's silly, man, because you got so much more of your life that you can live and trying to do something that's fraudulent. I said this earlier in the stream, you do not have to fake it to make it. no one's really paying you any attention. People, I understand people need to pay their bills, but I don't care if you got a Bugatti and everything like that. Okay, good for you. What does it do for me that you got a Bugatti and you have a compound? I got to keep on living my life. So, I guess he got on camera, man, and he just started doing this thing. And, it probably made it seem like people care, but people were being entertained by this. You're being a spectacle. We like your character. And yes, you were saying some things that we agreed with, but then you start tipping the scale when you talk about HTN and fraud. And it's like, oh, God, I didn't know you was doing it like that.
Exactly. And it's about the character that, and when I say character, I don't necessarily mean it the same way the Vice guy was like, oh, he broke character. I just mean who is his character as a real person. If that is what you find appealing, then you're going to exacerbate those points. And if you've lived a life because you were in the underground kickboxing world and you live in Romania and you're running webcam services and all this kind of stuff, that you weren't really in the mainstream, then it makes sense that you might have that blind spot to be just open about it and flashy and whatever. But I'll let Darshan go off on this. But you talk all the time about not flashing your money around.
Yeah, it's not necessary, man. Nobody, like, who's really paying attention? You know what I'm saying? Take the internet away. Like, who in your real life is paying attention? Is it your neighbor? Like, is it the people that you work with? Like, nobody's really paying you attention. Like, if you look around you, wherever you live, you see people are just really just making it. Everyone's driving a regular car. They live in a suitable home or whatever. Just people just trying to make it.
David says, Darshan is 100%. All this shit is cool until your ass is crying alone away from your family, surrounded by a bunch of men who don't give a fuck about you at all. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how cool you think you are. I don't care how top G you think you are. Do you think that the Tates would rather be where they are right now than be at home?
Right.
Do you think they would rather be there if they lived my life? They would much rather be hanging out with Darshan and y'all than be sitting in jail.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't got money like that, but I don't know a lot of people who do have money like that. But
well, like I told you this before. I said this to you about a couple months ago. I told you, I said, I don't really know if he got money like that. And you was like, oh, and I was like, look what it's coming down to. When people talk about how much money they have, I go, did you see it? Did you see it in their bank account? What I tell you, I say, did you see it? And he was like, oh, I'm sure he has it. Yeah. But did you see it though?
Negative. I did not see it. And that's the whole thing with Money Mayweather, right? Everybody who is it? I think it's Chael Sonnen, but one of the MMA guys. They're always talking about how the Money Team. The Money Team is a t-shirt company that produces t-shirts that say the Money Team. That's not a money-making endeavor. That's why he didn't I don't know the details, but like all of that shit with Jake Paul and him not getting paid or Luke, I don't know, whatever. But
yeah,
he don't have the money like that. Exactly, Jess. You don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I'll tell you guys about stuff, but there's a lot of stuff you don't know about, and there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. So they tried to character assassinate when they took him off all socials. Have to remember that failed, and they made a lot of powerful people piss off. That's gonna happen. And even though he was, it seemed prophetic, not pathetic, prophetic, that he was like, this is what they're gonna do to me. The Matrix is gonna first they're gonna try to cancel you, then they're gonna arrest you, then they're gonna kill you. Well, what are you doing, bro?
You're right.
What are you doing?
Speaking,
I talk about all the same shit you do. I just don't be as flashy. And sure, there's 17 people here now. Or, we got one on Twitch, or is that counting me? I don't know if Abday is still here, but either way, nobody's coming out to me.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming out to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the one thing I really wanted to talk to you about was the what was it? I took a note. So the level of backlash and the way that he portrayed himself from the very start. Let's just say, because I first heard about him from Fresh and Fit. So let's just say the first time he was on Fresh and Fit, and that like he was like wearing his sunglasses and his shirt half open. That was my first experience of Andrew Tate. Do you think that there was a way that Andrew Tate could have been Andrew Tate, could have been Top G, could have been owner of Hustlers University War Room, and not have pissed off as many people as he did? Or is it inherent to what he's saying?
It's both. It's inherent to what he's saying because he's so into what he believes as his character. That like what we're seeing, I don't see any separation from him saying like flamboyant things from his like personal life. I think that's what we see on camera is like I think that's exactly who he is. And I believe that he could have done it a little bit differently, but I think what was happening, and which is why it came to a surprise to him, is so many people were sharing his content and clipping it, and some of his content is taken out of context. And you know, because some of the stuff that was going around was the negative stuff about women being property. But then when you hear the whole context of what he's saying, and he's clearing it up by saying like, hey, I don't believe that, but what I was saying was making an example of women being property if she takes the man's last name. So I think this was a situation for him that was the inevitable. It was going to pop off this way, whether he liked it or not.
So that's a lot scarier than the alternative. Because like Jess is saying, they went after Epstein for the reasons that, that list still ain't out. And so if they are, if they, whoever they is, are really being intimidated by the message itself and not just the fact that, Tate is flashy and is kind of changing the conversation, but the way that he's changing the conversation just by the words he's saying. And even if somebody were to deliver that message in a much calmer and palatable way, they still wouldn't be about it. That's scary.
It is. It is.
Both.
Do you have any idea why he was going to go to Dubai?
Not really. From what I heard from the Vice documentary, which he went to Dubai after the cancellation, and that's when he really got into the Muslim stuff. And it seems like a PR thing, like just get out of Dodge, start fresh, and like I'm still me, my people are still me, but like I'm in a fresh place.
Okay.
What does that hustle and grind life say? Even if it was taken out of context. If the brothers would have had a manager in close proximity to the cam business, and they paid for good accounting and had solid books, this story doesn't exist. 100%.
Well, hold on, because Tate has some handlers. He has some handlers. If anyone caught the Vice hit piece, Tate has 2 men that oversee everything that he does. And one of those guys makes sure that other men that are brought into the equation from the Hustlers University, that they're not racist, that they're not misogynistic, and it was something else. So he has people in the cam business. He has people doing his accounting. It's just that Tate has a big mouth.
Right.
And they can't stop him.
I have the Vice thing here. If you have a timestamp.
Yeah, I got time. Oh, timestamp on it. Go to the.
So while you're looking that up, let's get a couple more comments here. Gillen says the canvas is what's used to try to take him down. Messing with the Matrix is why they're after him. And again, I want to believe that. I want to believe that. I want to believe that the woke establishment media is just incapable of dealing with a strong masculine man who is inspiring other men to be strong and masculine. Even though that is kind of scary, they can't knock us all out. And that is a hill I'm willing to die on.
Yeah.
So if it's the message itself, yes, that is scarier. But that is also a little bit more of a white pill in the sense that they can't Epstein all of us. They can't Epstein all of us. So they take him down, and I'll be next. They take me down, you be next. if you care.
I'm too cool.
So just watch the documentary. He financially incentivized and encouraged those people to share his content. He can't complain about stuff. He asked for it. He could have copyrighted his stuff if he wanted, or as Jedediah JBL, if you're a common watcher, we were flirting with a new facts. We were flirting with a new possible red pill queen, and it's not just Pearly Things, and it may not be Jedediah Bila Live, but I'm going with her for now. And she did a whole takedown of this. And she was saying that you never go into enemy territory. We all know what Vice is trying to do. In no world did they think that Vice was trying to come in and just get a bird's eye view, fly on the wall type of deal. You can hear in the footage that Tristan's like, yo, get this dude out of here. This is a hit piece. What are we doing? He's like, I don't care. I'll talk to them. And now you're in jail. Always bring your own cameras.
Yep.
Always. Do we see the screenshot, the two screenshots? Well, I think did you have a timestamp for the Vice thing?
Got a timestamp. At the 23-minute mark is one of his handlers, and the other handler. Check out this guy's name too.
Let's get some.
The 23, pretty much 23 minute.
All right.
What you got for that? Yeah.
Our chaperone vets who we speak to and tries to heavily control our questions. What do you do?
That you're not heavily controlling the questions, which not a bad idea, but they're gonna edit it anyway. But okay, let's get rid of the Spanish. We can see what they're saying.
Okay.
Some sort of right-wing extremist force.
Why did you join the war?
I don't want to be fucking stagnant. I need to grow. It's just a fun.
So I think at this point, if I'm not mistaken, he is talking to a guy from the war room, and this is right after these this whole group of people who went to this retreat of the war room, paid $5,000. We're in a room, and Tate's like, I got a professional fighter who's going to fight you in a real cage match. So you can either fight or you can not, but this is the program. And I think this guy that we're looking at is one of the guys along, of course, with the Vice journalist that did not man up and get in the cage. So I think that's what we're kind of. So this seems like a guy who is a little bit, who resonates with Tate's message, but he don't have it.
The mental shift in my mindset. What I think could be bad is always good. Before the war room, I used to think, why is this happening to me? Now, what is this trying to teach me?
About Andrew Tate specifically and the things he says online, the things that get him negative publicity. What do you think about those things?
I think he's speaking the truth.
Really?
Yeah.
Interviewing under the chaperone's supervision is proving restrictive.
Yeah.
No fucking no alpha craziness. He's he's an animal. This one.
So we can't speak to anyone.
Okay.
Who is this mysterious?
So we're seeing a lot, even though they weren't smart enough to make sure they had cameras so that when this came out, then they could be like, okay, well, this was what really happened.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to be a professional to know that Vice is going to do that to you. So that's wild. And like I said, Tristan was in there. So the back, where were the handlers? What were they doing? Why was this documentary made?
Did you watch the whole thing yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was made to make him look bad, but I mean, in terms of the Tates themselves, why are they allowing this to happen? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either.
Really quick, guys. I know I'm so thankful for the likes. You guys are awesome. If it's your first time here, or even if it's not your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss these parties every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We party. So be here. Thank you. Let's go to some comments real quick. And then if Darshan, if you got to get out of here, we can throw it to you. Where were we? So Poop City says they do need to protect the people in the war room. They do pay to be there to grow as men, not to get lectured by the enemy. Well, it depends on how you interpret that, because a lot of the gentlemen who were in that room when the announcement of the fight was announced, a lot of them did it. And when somebody asked, "Is there going to be time? Is there going to be in training?" And Tate was like, "Well, if you don't keep yourself in shape, that's not my problem. This is our program. Get on it or don't." So I don't know that that's lecturing by the enemy, because that's exactly what I would expect from Tate if I were to go to an Andrew Tate retreat. Right? I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yep, I would.
Well, there's your answers. Disney put $400 million in Vice. That really does. That really does make a lot of sense. That really does make a lot of sense. I was just watching another video on how bad She-Hulk is, and they are all good, and it never ceases to be like, yeah, you know what? That show was really that bad. But anyway, Poop Sadie said they cut out the part where Tristain gave the Vice guy a hug after leaving the cage. That's what I'm telling you guys. They're gonna. There's no way that a Vice journalist was there to help the Tates.
Yeah,
that's just not what was gonna happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they got tried to get the War Room list and their contacts to see they can go after just for fun. Romania's government is dirty. I agree with you, but here's the thing: as long as you're not bringing bad attention to them, they don't care. That was what, according to Tate, that was the whole thing, is that as long as you got the money, whatever. But Romania is known as an HT. For those of you who are just joining us, the thing that Tate is charged with, HT, that they are known for HT in that country. And so if you are a big personality and HT is tied to your name and your name is tied to Romania, well, now they have a reason to go after you. And if you're going to be arrogant about it, then damn. Hey, we got Ezekiel in the building with some horrifying news on top of all of that, and said that BlackRock owns Disney and Vice. You will own nothing. You will love it. You will love it. So, how much time you got, Darshan?
I got like 10 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So I want to go to a spicy little issue here.
Okay.
Because we don't know exactly what is what are the details of the HT stuff. So where do you fall? Let's say that by law, by the letter of the law, there was nothing that Tate or the Tate organization, hustle, whatever, none of them did anything illegal. But all of the stories about these women feeling coerced or feeling uncomfortable and not leaving, is there any responsibility or accountability for them? And where does that fall? And where, where does that line get drawn as to you were just victimized versus you put yourself in you absolutely were victimized. But if I leave my Bugatti unlocked in a Philly street, is going to get broken into. So where do you stand on the women's role and their responsibility?
I think.
Oh, sorry. We just want to get a call out to the one, the only, just a cock in the fuckery. Glad to see you again, as always. Missed you. So take that too big for himself. That's exactly when people start to fall. 100% agree with you. Sorry, Darshan, you're saying.
I was going to say, I think a lot of women, if not all of them, you put yourselves in these situations because it's your choice at the end of it to accept what someone's telling you. You don't have to do anything that anyone tells you to do. Are they going to take any accountability? No. A lot of women just feel like they're entitled to do certain things, and they can say and lie on anybody that they want to because they're really not going to get a slap on the wrist. As far as Andrew Tate is concerned, he also put himself in this situation because he just has a big mouth, right? He has a big mouth. He's trying to prove a point. He's trying to outlive who he is. He's trying to outlive his father's shadow. So this is to be expected. You know, I totally can see why he did what he did, but at the same time, all of us put ourselves in these situations when we act progressively to do something in our lives.
We all put ourselves in a situation to act progressively.
Mhm.
Can you unpack that a little bit? What do you mean by
All
that?
right. So what I mean by that is if you're consistently still trying to live life every day, every choice that you make is up to you. I didn't make you do it. You may say, well, Darshawn made me feel a certain type of way, but I didn't put the gun or the knife to your neck. You made that choice yourself.
On point. On point. And so that really leads into the point that I was trying to get at about if you are one of these webcam girls that is working for the Tate organization, and we are assuming, because as we do as Americans, you are innocent until proven guilty. So at this point in time, legally, Andrew Tate, well, I mean, it's in Romania, but you know what I mean. At this point, he has not been charged, convicted of anything. So it's only fair to assume that until we have new information, that everything was on the up and up according to the laws of the land. Doesn't mean that morally everything was great. It doesn't mean that he's a fantastic guy. It doesn't mean I want my non-existent daughter to be dating him. But it means he wasn't breaking any laws, and these girls put themselves in that situation. So let's say he's doing the lover boy thing, where he is like, oh, I'm gonna fly you out. We're gonna be together. We're gonna get married. And then that goes, he switches up and is that, do you see that? And of course, we're speaking generally, everybody's situation is different, but generally, do you see that as more of a straight victimization, or do you see that as victimization, but with a little bit of accountability needed to be taken?
If I'm understanding you correctly, I would see that as fraud, right? Let's say I had a girl that I was talking to, and she wanted to fly me out. And when I got there, the whole scenario was different and everything was just flipped on a coin. I would feel betrayed, and then she tells me, well, I can't leave. And I'd be like, well, hold on, what you mean I can't leave? Now I'm going to fight for my life to get up out of there, first of all, telling me I can't leave. But yeah, I mean, he kind of defrauded people, man. The women in this instance, if you're laying out that scenario, they're victims, but
Absolutely.
at the same time, I also got to go back though and say, you know what, when I'm on that phone call or I'm sending that message, this is my choice. I'm making this choice to do this, right? No one's making me get on this flight, so I'm doing this as well.
And so again, if she's getting on that plane under the impression that there's no business, it's just, oh, Andrew Tate likes me. Now,
yeah,
on its own is maybe think about that before you think that he's just flying you out because you're so goddamn special. But let's say for whatever reason, she's naive. She goes out there. Now she gets there, and now it's being switched up on her. At what point is she in the position to be like, oh, okay, like you were saying, I'm going to get up out of there? And I like that you flipped it, because this isn't a gendered thing. Women can hold guns and therefore can kidnap and hold people hostage. So I really like that you put it that way. At what point would you say, oh, you've stayed too long to just claim, oh, I was just too innocent? Similar to the situation where we would certainly be sensitive to the fact that your car got broken into. But if you parked your supercar on the side of a city street and didn't lock it, okay, we have a conversation. So where do you think that line draws where now we have a conversation of, well, what were you doing?
Yeah, I give her about like 3 days, 72 hours before you can kind of realize that, hey, I need to get up out of here. That first impression is a big one when you finally meet somebody for the first time, versus over text message. So I give her about 3 days. After 3 days, you're just stuck in it, because I would like to think that he would give them enough time to, go back home. But from what the text is reading, he keeps them there. As a matter of fact, you better punch yourself in the mouth 10 times before I get there type of lingo. You see what I'm saying? So now I can't unhear it. You see, so I'm so
it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear.
Yeah.
So apparently we're missing the point. Power Don says the point, we're missing the point. No girls were flown out for the first time. They were all girls he dated They had sex already. They dated already. It's not black and white. Nobody is when did anybody say it was black and white? Except for you, when I already said I know it's not black and white. That's the whole reason. If it was black and white, then this would be a 2-minute video. Hey guys, guess what? Andrew Tate did this. Bye. That wouldn't be much of a party now, would it? Jessica Cog says situations like this are exactly why people need to learn what real red flags are early on. Tell him, Jessica Cog, exactly. Just says, did you hear the audio where he says he liked graping her, and the more she didn't like it, the more it turned him on. He also said she's okay because she didn't pass out when he choked her. Yes, I did hear this.
I heard that too.
What did you think? Because you got a little more experience than me.
Listen, I don't even write it. So I wrote this erotica book. I don't even talk like that in my books, right? Not even on a kinky level, right? I can take you there, but I thought that was a bit much. I thought that's going to be more evidence for the prosecution to do what they got to do. And that video of him smacking his girlfriend and everybody said it was role play. I know role play. That didn't look like role play to me. That looked like a real situation.
That said that it was.
She said, "Oh, okay. If you pay me some money, I'll say something wasn't what it was either." You know what I mean? So I get that part. So if that's going to be the truth of what she said, then that's the truth of what she said. But looking at that video and listening to it, I was like, that's no role play. But that's just me. I've been wrong before.
That's very interesting because everybody I've ever talked to who has decent experience is like, tell me you've never been with a girl who's into that shit without telling me you've never been to been with a girl who's been into that shit. And I'm going to assume, we don't have to put it out there, but I'm going to assume that you have. So if you're saying that, and that goes against what a lot of other people who have been in those situations, and is going against what the girl herself is saying, which again, with both that girl and the two girls that we watch, easily could be getting paid. That easily could be happening. But where did he assume in what he just said that was a girl's meeting for the first time? I don't think that was brought up at all. Again, I don't see a link in the Discord. I'm not going to spend half of the show searching for something I don't know what it is. If you give me a link, I will pull it up. But I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, man. I've been around the block a few times. You know, I've had a lot of fun. You know, but I looked at that video. I looked at it over and over, and I listened to what he said. I slowed it down. I looked at the hits and everything. I know role play. And unless people are into, like, I don't know, man, he hit her pretty hard. And the way she was, to me, the way she sounded like she was about to cry, you know, I don't know. And
let's do a poll. Let's do a poll. Because I'm very, so don't answer. Well, I'll just put it in. So was that video role play?
You know.
Unless I'm missing it. If you haven't seen it, then it's too YouTube's not gonna let me play it. But if you're doing Discord, we're definitely gonna check it out again. Oh, I spelled it wrong, but you know what I mean. We're definitely gonna play it in the Discord. So again, Pyro Don, if you want to talk about this in a way that we definitely can't talk about on YouTube and we get real raw, again, the Discord is free to join. It's just you just click the button and then we can talk about whatever we want. Jess is, coming at you. And says, I believe Darshan because they kicked him off the show.
Yeah, they kicked him off of Big Brother.
Oh, okay.
When that video,
I didn't see that. Yeah, can you?
Yeah. So I'll fill you in. So he was doing great on Big Brother. He had a good run, very entertaining. You know, very spontaneous. And then the video came out, and he had to try to clean it up a little bit by saying like, hey, that's how I role played with her, and then she had to say the same thing. But when they showed it, it was the hit and her about to get ready to cry that did it for the production team. They were like, you know what? Even if it's role playing, that's not something you put on public display. We can't have you on the show. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Big Brother, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but from last I checked, I think Big Brother is owned by Disney as well.
There you go. There you go. Hey, we got the Mikey story in the building. Welcome, 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 brother. You did miss most of it, but that's what the replay is for. And of course, you know we are going right to the panel in Discord as soon as this ends. Yeah, I do think that is a good point, though. The Poop City says we're looking for. I don't even want to say it out loud. The WWF. We're gonna call it the WWF. Matt and pressured the Romanians to reopen the cases because they're about to put the climate crisis and digital agenda in a hyperdrive. That's my opinion. A text and one-sided voice message. Fair enough. I mean, if that's your position, all I would caution you is to be willing to say, okay, this is my position, but I'm willing to change with the evidence. I'm not that strong on. Well, I do. I'm curious about how much the Greta thing came into it. It does seem too convenient. It seems, but it also does seem like they were looking for something that triggers it. Triggered the arrest and all of that. Yeah, so before, what did we say? Frigo said people use red flag to mean shit they don't like and miss the real red flags like rampant narcissism and hedonism because they're getting good money or a dick or a snatch. I mean, sometimes, yes, but just a cog is on point here where if you know what the real red flags are,
yeah,
bait and switch, pretty big red flag. So it's love bombing. So there's many different things that are So back in the 2000s, there was this reality TV show, and it was called Big Brother, and he was on the show, and he got kicked off because of the that video. But again, so yeah, Mikey, you did miss most of it, but we are the replay is going up, and then we're gonna be covering most of that in the Discord panel. And yeah, I know that it's there's a lot here, and we don't have a lot of hard information, so it's tough to pick a direction. But that is why not only I want to have this conversation, but I wanted to bring Darshan in because he just knows a little bit more about this world than I do, and the fact that for the most part we're coming to the same types of conclusions is making me a lot more confident that I am taking the right approach with this, because I do like the things that the guy says. I absolutely hate the allegations that are on his name. And so until that circle is squared, I'm kind of just stuck in limbo. And I think a lot of people are in that same position.
Yeah.
I don't know how that video went public. Before we say goodbye to our special guest, one more question from or comment from Jess. Says they aren't teaching red flags in school. Yeah, I only learned about love bombing last year and Loverboy method this year. I just learned about this shit like within the context of this story. So we got 11 votes on this poll of whether or not that video was role play. So 27% haven't seen it. So we're working with 2/3, and 45% of people said it was not role play.
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, like I said, yeah, you know more than me. So maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of people who also know more than me and have had more experiences than me. I mean, I'm not like fucking Burger or some shit, but you know what I mean. I've been like, oh, that looks exactly like, a Saturday night with me and my wife or whatever. So I mean, on that point specifically, I whether it is real, if she is not going to not only speak out about it, but to speak in defense of that, then what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Like this is bringing back to to go out of left field, the Leah Thomas thing. Like I'm out here talking about how this is unfair for women and this and that, and then everybody's just, all the other girls are just swimming with her. It's like, all right, well, if y'all don't care, then don't fucking ask me for help. So I don't know. So I know Darshan's got to get out of here, and his time is very, very valuable. I don't want to take up too much of it, and I definitely want to make sure you guys know exactly where to find him. So Darshan, I'm going to give you the floor and let them know.
Man, listen, I greatly appreciate it. It's been fun rocking it out with you guys. Of course, I'm Darshan McAway. Please, by all means, go to YouTube. Just type in Darshan McAway. Check out my YouTube page. But Also, do me one small favor. Go check out balancecologne.com. Check it out. Let me know what you think. And the Indian Jesus, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate this. This was a great collab, man.
I loved it as well. Thank you so much for hanging out and giving some color commentary that I would not have been able to give. And I have no problem admitting that, to you guys out there. It's not about having to know all of the things all of the time. The reason we are all here is because none of us know what the fuck is happening, but we all care. As long as we all care, we're going to be good. So thank you so much, Darshan. I really think you added a lot to this. And you know what? I feel like I'm going to drop the link. So Darshan has one more thing to say. We're going to do a short one, but I say it every time.
Yeah.
But one by one. I'm not having 6 people on the panel. We're going to do one by one, and you have to cam up. But the link has been dropped. If you would like to come up, you must cam up. Darshan, you were saying.
Yeah. So what is it? Ian Undercover says Freddy Cougar got some killing to do. I think I might be the only person in history that can rock a Freddy Cougar sweater and make it look fly.
I don't see that, but it definitely is fly. Super. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Looking good. Screenshot that right there. Bam. Beautiful. All right. Thank you, buddy.
All right, man.
Any last words for the people?
Listen, last words I would say to you guys, everyone's trying to make it. You don't have to do anything fraudulent to make it. Just take your time. You'll get there. And here's the big thing. Ask yourself, how much money do you really need and how much money do you want? And that'll help you put your life in perspective.
Beautiful. No, David, this is not the end. This is only the beginning. But Darshan is leaving us, so thank you so much. Shout out to Darshan. Thank you so much. You have a good one. All right, so first up, we got our good friend, the Mikey story. What is good? Welcome, brother. Welcome. I know you missed a lot of this, but what did you think?
Well, I'm pretty sure, judging from the talk that we had on the Discord, you kind of have an idea of my general consensus. But
I do, but they don't. So let them know.
Right.
Thing.
No. I mean, I don't want to get into that per se, but here's what I will focus on. Right. Unfortunately, with this particular case, there is too much hearsay. All right. And because there's too much hearsay, unfortunately, that leaves a lot of room for assumptions, speculation, theories, yada, without the concrete facts. Even though everybody has their own conclusions or things like that, based upon what they may have known, based upon what they've seen. But anybody, who is familiar with basic law knows and understand that you can't go by what you see and what you think you hear at the time and at the moment. You have to go by what are the facts of the case. And even if that's the case, when it comes to the courts is all about what can you prove? And also another thing, which lawyer is going to argue the case the best? Because whoever argues the case the best has a stronger chance of winning the case.
True. I mean, and that happens. That's going to be the case.
Yeah.
In any case.
Correct.
But
Correct.
I do think that the preponderance of evidence really is going to be a bigger factor, because if he was just some nobody in Romania, then it'd be a very different story. But he's a very big deal in Romania. And so,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what is going on with freezing bank accounts and all this kind of stuff, but you know, he's got the money to hire, you know, any level of lawyer, even if it is to, you know, just do random appeals of this, or you know, to just stretch it out in court for forever.
Yeah.
You know, the point is, even if the courts, once they do have the trial, they go through everything. We had OJ. OJ got off. We had
okay, but can I tell you this about OJ?
Sure.
I don't know if you remember this. OJ is a perfect example of what I'm about to talk about because of what you just said.
Okay.
Do you know, or do you remember that in the trial, 90% of the case, OJ was actually losing?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it was only up until that one moment.
The glum, yeah. And
killed the case.
And I mean, I do have to be honest, I was very, what was that, 92 or something like that? 92,
somewhere
93?
around it. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, I was a toddler at the time,
Yeah,
but
90% he was losing that case.
Oh yeah. And so actually, let me ask you then, because I'm much more familiar with the FX series that they did on it with Cuba Gooding Jr. I don't know if you saw that, but fantastic. And from what I've read about it, it is very true to life as the trial played out. And it, as you're saying, it seems to have represented that same thing, that all along they knew what was good, they knew what was going on, and Johnny Cochran was just that good, and you know, a great lawyer. And so one of the main parts of the FX series is that not the lead attorney, the woman, but the black gentleman who was on stateside, he was really pushing. Yes, he was the one who was really pushing for the glove, while the lead attorney was saying no. And so I don't know, you know, that part, whether that is true to life. But the fact is, you're right, man. The trial is not always about the truth. What is that movie? It's not about what's true. It's about what you can prove in court.
Exactly. And that's why I alluded to say the lawyer who has the best argument has a better chance of winning the case. And if you listen to lead attorney, he says that practically in every case he's broken down.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's so true. And that's why it's funny you brought that up, because I was like, that's a perfect example, because if Johnny Cochran never brought that up, they were going to win their case, because they were like at a 90%.
And all went down the drain. So, and that says to us that even with the when this is all played out, and he's gone, if he does go to trial, and he does go to trial, and he does get convicted, and that still is not necessarily the absolute truth of the universe, so to speak. That in the same way that legally, OJ never murdered anybody.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Go figure.
We know. Are you kidding me?
Go figure.
So just also into just said, I have an Andrew Tate stan roommate. I've heard it all. Oh man, as somebody who likes Andrew Tate, I am not envious of you. I can't imagine that being fun. Says I'm also into true crime, so I listen from the legal aspects also. What woman isn't? So come on up and talk to us about what you think is going to happen, when you think is not going to happen. You know, you were at the meeting the other night. Let's go. What are we doing? David says, you know, what ignorant as well to that, Jess. I assume people would not have just dismissed the opposite perspective of Tate instead of just being hypnotized by the algorithm catering to their needs. You thought that? What year are you living in, bro? You living in 1995? You living in 2003? Bro, it's 23. People are hypnotized by the algorithm. That is the whole point. That is the whole point of algorithms. Power Dance is just, I don't think we are catching I don't think we aren't catching the ridiculous. I think it's just that the profound things Tate says are so profound that even if you are aware of his transgressions, you can't ignore his words. So with this comment, this is a great comment. Let me ask you the same question that I asked Darshan about, do you think that either there could have been a way for Andrew Tate to be Andrew Tate in a way that was a little bit more under the radar? Or do you think there is somebody else who could have done that message better? Or third option, it doesn't matter who or how they said it. It's the message itself that they have a problem with.
Now, is that, I just need to get some clarification. Is what you're asking relating to the case, or you're just asking in general in terms of Andrew Tate?
More in general, in terms of Tate and why he's getting all of this hate. Is it because of how brash he is? Is it because the message itself? And if it was how so let's start there. Is it because it was how brash he was and the way that he said the things he said, or was it the actual point of the things that he said that made a lot of people not like him, and there be an avenue for people to support that he would be canceled?
I'm going to say a bit of both, and I'll tell you why. Because let's just say you said the same exact thing and you and Andrew Tate don't know each other, right?
All right.
And you both live in Romania, okay? But you said the same exact thing, don't know each other, but here's the difference. Who do you think, that even if you said it, what are the chances that you're going to get into all this heat per se? Let's reverse it from that point. What's the chances?
I mean, I would think pretty high. If you're talking about things that the establishment or they or the Illuminati or whatever context you want to put it in, if you're talking about these things, then and you are hitting on something that messes up the plans of them.
Yeah.
I like I was saying, that's a much scarier notion, because while it is a little bit more white-pilled in the sense that they can't take us all down, but anybody who's saying this stuff is equally as dangerous. It's not just because Andrew Tate was, oh, I'm top G, I can do whatever. It's the messages themselves. If that is the case, that is one, scarier, because these are free ideas that we should be allowed to have.
Right.
But it's also something that they can't stop because it's the ideas themselves.
Right.
Whereas if it's just Tate, then that's just get rid of him and you get rid of the ideology because nobody else is going to pick it up.
I'll tell you the difference. And I'm pretty sure you know that you've kind of already figured out what I'm about to say. The difference obviously would be is Andrew Tate's influence versus your influence. Your influence is not going to make a sting versus Andrew Tate's influence is going to sting.
Well, and why is that?
Because, for example, right, you're on YouTube and we're talking live, right? And let's just say you had the same exact talking points, but you don't know each other, right? The chances of you getting the kind of backlash that he's getting is at a much, 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 much lower scale.
Why though?
Because your influence right now is not at the level of Andrew Tate.
Right, but that's what I'm asking. So I'm asking if we had equal, if we had the equal amount of influence, and we were spreading the same message, but he was being top G, I could do whatever I want, and I'm trying to take a more as TLA would say, a more purple-pilled, softer approach. But underlying message is still the same, that
Right.
gender roles are good and traditional whatever is good. If we had the same amount of influence,
Yeah.
do you think that the establishment, they, Matrix, Illuminati, whatever, do you think that they would come down just as hard on me as they would as Tate?
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's the scary thing. That's the scary thing. And so
Yeah,
Pirate Don wants to
because-
answer the question too. So he
Because I'll
says-
tell you why.
Sure,
I'll
go
tell you
ahead.
why. Because
We'll
the
come to you,
key
Pyro.
word you said was influence.
Right.
Right.
And
So that's why I was just saying, right now, you being the Indian Jesus and the influence that you have at current is not enough to make a sting. You know. So
don't get
okay,
there.
watch this, right?
Real quick, let's go to Pyro Don's question. I keep calling you Pyro Dan. Can I just call you Pyro Dan? That sounds like
Pyro Don.
Pyro Don.
All right, go on.
So
I'm sorry,
he
I'm
wants
sorry,
to
go on.
answer the question. There couldn't have been a different way for Tate to be Tate, because it's his negative behavior / experiences that made him who he is today. If he was more vanilla, he would never have learned the tough lessons that he reveals to fans. That's not my question, though. I do agree with this, but the question is, he's already gone through all those things. He's not this vanilla whatever. These behaviors, experiences. He is that guy today. Those experiences already happened. I don't know why this camera is, but so he is that guy today, and so now he's going on Twitch. He's going on Aiden Ross. He's doing his thing, whatever. Glad you like it. He's doing his thing, and so now he can take the very abrasive method that he took, or there's other people in the red pill space who are not getting the type of flack that he is, but they're also not getting the type of attention, which again brings back to the base question of, is it the message or is it the man?
And
Is
that's
it the
why
message?
to me, I say it's a bit of both. A perfect example of what you're saying is, and even though, all right, let's put it this way. I don't know if you remember, there was this guy named Rush Limbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Not
and
that young.
And okay, well, anyways,
I just messed with you. Go ahead.
well, but I'm just using Rush Limbaugh as a perfect illustration from a reverse point of view to say, this is a guy who he was so extreme when it comes to certain things, and especially the fact that he was a
doing up
Republican.
opioids. Sorry.
Right. I mean, but what I'm saying is the fact that he was a Republican is what put him, what put him so at the top.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and at the same time, it pissed off. I mean, a shitload of people. It pissed off a lot of people. Okay,
Absolutely.
but here's the flip side of what I just said. Unlike Tate, Rush was never canceled. Never, not one time.
I mean,
never canceled.
Kind of was.
Whereas with
I mean, there
Andrew,
was. This was.
they're
He was
trying to get
before
him
cancel
canceled.
culture. He was before
Huh?
cancel culture, and he was on Fox at one point, right?
Yeah.
And where did he end up? At like the
On,
Blaze,
independent
or-
radio.
Okay, so
I think it was
before
NPR,
cancel
one of
culture.
those. Huh?
Before cancel culture, if you're
Yeah.
on Fox News,
Yeah.
you have a show on Fox News.
Yeah.
Name somebody else who had a show on Fox News
Yeah.
who no longer has a show on Fox News, who now has more influence.
I can't think of anyone per se, but
Because there's
at
not.
the-
And so
but at
this
the same
my point
time-
is that Rush Limbaugh was not canceled in the sense that everybody in the public was like, "Hey, we hate this guy." Because we lived it, even though Rush Limbaugh was a piece of shit in many ways. I told you guys, I'm a 2015 liberal. Like when Rush Limbaugh was on there, I was not into Republican ideas.
Right.
But
right.
it wasn't the liberals or the leftists or whatever. It's the fact that his message was getting because the Overton window was shifting further left. He became, by being himself, more and more and more and more extreme in the eyes of other people. And so before there was this notion that people had the power to say, I don't like that guy, so I'm going to email the whatever and get him off the air.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, but his numbers dwindled. He had lawsuits. He had no, and eventually, like I said, there's nobody who was on Fox News at one point who is no longer on Fox News, who is now more influential. And so maybe he didn't get canceled in the traditional sense, but I think that's only because that was before that was really a thing.
Well, and the reason why I also brought him up, because it's not like his message.
So he was sorry. Any film says he was never on. He was never on Fox. That does change my argument a lot. That does change my argument a lot.
I've seen him on Fox, but
no, but like his show. No, I'm not saying did he ever go on Fox.
I mean, that's probably the case, but I've seen him on Fox. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
so no. I was asking, was his show on Fox? So if he was always in his lane for the entire time, then that I mean, that goes back on my argument then.
And then if you think about it, for him to be not on Fox, even as a guest, would be asinine to even think that could never happen, because Fox is known for being a Republican station anyway. So
sure.
Duh. Anyways, I digress. But
so let's see. So Jess has saying Mr. Tate. Ooh, showing some respect. Has an extreme following that is angry at women, and he provides a space for them to congregate. So that's dangerous. Plus, his extremism. Some take his extremism for face value. So that I will agree with. Where do you think these men would congregate? Otherwise, what do you think these men are doing if they're not talking to each other in the war room or the Hustlers University or whatever? These are not men who are doing well in life because they're willing to shell out. They apparently they got money, but they're willing to shell out $5,000 to sit and talk to Andrew Tate. I mean, go to a therapist first, maybe. But where do you think these men? And I agree with the fact that some people take the hyperbole and the more extreme things he says very seriously, and that is not a good thing. But again, name somebody who is pushing the envelope in any direction that people don't misinterpret their message. I do not believe that you can fully put that on the person. In the case of Andrew Tate, you can give him a little bit more responsibility there because he was definitely more purposefully antagonistic. But I don't think that you can take the fact that a 12-year-old boy doesn't understand what a 30, 40-year-old man is saying and blame it on the fact that the 30, 40-year-old man said it and is right and the kid misunderstood. Does that make sense, Jess? Any thoughts on that, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. To your point, I mean, when you're an adult, you have the freedom to say yes or to say no, right?
Yep.
And because you have the freedom to say yes or no, if someone is saying, well, I'm going to charge you $5,000 to be like me, and at the end of it, you'll be successful, and you're thinking, hey, for $5,000, if that's the result, then you have the freedom of saying yes or saying no.
Facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's not like Andrew is purposely coming out to anybody and saying you have to come with me because of X. Nope. He's just outlining, saying, look, this is what I think, so and so and so and so and so, so and so and so and so. Okay, but for $5,000, if you want to be like this, I can get you to this point.
You gave me a very good connection in my mind here.
Okay.
Because that is precisely what religion does. Religion preaches a message, and most Everybody who follows that message has a different interpretation of that message. And that is why, as a very strong atheist who is very in line with Judeo-Christian values, I do not blame people who are religious for being religious. I just think you need to take it the fuck away from conversations about politics. And so in the same way, if you're exploring red pill stuff and influence and all of this stuff, then if it's there has to be responsibility on the people who are receiving the message. Otherwise, every crazy person that interprets something wrong now gets brought back to whatever. Some random crazy person could be in my chat and misinterpret something that I say and go and kill somebody. Am I responsible for that? I mean, if I told them directly to do it, then sure.
Okay.
But
okay. Guess what?
What I said.
But guess what? You see what you just said? That's what just happened to Austin Holloman.
To who?
Austin Holloman.
I have no idea who that is.
I'll send you the links and you could check out what happened. I'll send you.
All right, so we have our first topic for the Discord panel. If you guys would like to join, again, the link is in the description and it is free to join. So let's get through the rest of these comments and then head over there because I am done trying to censor myself. And let's talk about this for real. So Pyrodon says, have you ever heard of Gonzalo Lira? I have not. He basically has the version of Tate's message without the controversial top G over the top stuff. He got me, though. You never heard of him? Exactly. Flamboyance has its place. And this is exactly why I asked the question. And I was asking this about Kevin Samuels when he was alive, RIP, of course. And I do think, obviously they're very different. But I was saying that when it came to Kevin Samuels, there was a lot of women who absolutely needed to hear the message in the way that Kevin was putting it. Hey, we got Dr. Evil Genius in the building. Good friend of the channel. Please feel free to drop that link, any link, in the description. Awesome content creator. Welcome, brother. Said Austin Holloman is the face of the Passport Bros movement. Okay. Interesting.
I wouldn't give him that much credit, but anyways.
Fair enough, but at least that gives me a little bit of context of what we're talking about. Did I miss anything? So Pyrodon says, if you can influence the age group of males that follow Tate, you can single-handedly cause revolutions or regime change, and that is why the Matrix will stop at nothing to get rid of Tate. I agree with that. Even though I think it's cheesy to overuse this Matrix analogy, and it's cringe, and it's weird, and it's goofy, but it fits. Does it not fit? It fits. And even said he had people, I think you're still talking about Rush, said he had people try to cancel him, mostly haters who pretended to be multiple people and complained to advertisers. He actually outed a bunch of fake accounts back in the day. Well, shout out to Rush Limbaugh. Maybe, as a young liberal with Republican parents and looking to rebel, maybe I just didn't know. Pyro says, I blame TikTok. Yup. TikTok allows teens to access content that they have no business viewing at that age. And Frio is correct because most social media is 13 plus, and it is very easy to just be like, yeah, I'm 13, even though I'm 5. And there's teachers on here telling me that let's not go into that. Jessica Cog says, much of the red pill is still in the Matrix. If one is following and parroting instead of thinking and acting independently, they've only changed rooms. They're not fully out. There you go. That is, you have any thoughts on that? Because that is perfect.
Listen, for me, as far as that statement, live and let live.
I hear that, but if we're looking at the red pill as a method of understanding truth and reality, and that's being muddied, then I think it's really important that those of us who are most directly related to the information that comes out of red pill content to be aware of it. And that's why I personally distance myself in terms of the channel. Like I would consider myself red pilled, but I don't think this is a red pill channel. I try very hard not to associate myself with that in this way. Hey, we got Dustin from Pittsburgh in the building. Welcome to the party. Glad to see you here, brother. But yeah, I think it's just that label has become too much. Not personally with red pill coach.
Yeah, but personally, I just, and this is just my humble opinion. And I think I've said this before on a different subject that you were talking about on a different point. I think we're at a point today where everybody's looking for a label to justify or to be able to say, this is what it is, just so it could signify or to justify or to say, yeah, well, here's the real reason. This is why it is. And so because, it's this, it makes it okay. But having said that, I just think some of it has gotten a little out of hand.
Definitely.
To me.
Definitely. I completely agree.
And so that's why when I listen to what you just said, it's almost like you were saying, yeah, I kind of I'm on the fence in terms of this is what I would be considered, but I'm out of the fence because that's not me anyways. I'm just Indian Jesus.
So thank you for allowing me to clarify this, because what I said was I consider myself red pilled in the sense that I've taken the red pill, I've taken in that information.
Yeah.
But my channel is not about that.
Yeah.
Because I am red pilled, then that's going to affect how I speak about things. But this is not a channel about dating. This is not a channel about it's more a channel about conversations and society and moving that forward. And because I have a lot of conversations relevant to red pill issues and dating issues.
But that doesn't make you red pill as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
I think I could be wrong, but I see it as this is just Indian Jesus.
That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. The one and only.
I tell you what, in my mind, the red pill folks are the ones who their talking points are in line with the definition, for the most part. And because your talking points, I would say maybe are in general, yes, but I would say maybe 5% of it is actual red pill talking points.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean you're red pill hardline. No.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's not like, as you say, with anybody who's red pill, what are they talking about? Dating and this and this. And it's the same old flipping thing, that everybody's trying to cover. Well,
and trying to be a guru and trying to say, I got it figured out. No, I ain't got shit figured out. I got all the stuff y'all are saying. Like, okay, I got all that. That ain't everything. There's more to life than what the fuck y'all are talking about. So thank you for teaching me, because I definitely was that blue pill plugged in beta little bitch. That was me. I have no problems admitting that, because that's not who I am anymore.
Right.
Because I've taken in this information, and you can see it very clearly in the way that I speak, in the way that I cover things, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But I was that dude. I was that dude.
Yeah.
And so directly relevant to Pyrodon's comment here, saying MGTOW is not the same as red pill, and both of those are not the same as incels, but they all tend to get conflated, and many incels claim to be MGTOW or red pill, but it's not the same movement. And while I absolutely agree with every word that you just said, I'm past the point of caring of these labels. I understand what MGTOW has to offer. I understand what Red Pill has to offer. I understand, well, to a certain extent. I don't really understand incels. But I understand these ideologies, just like I understand Christianity. But I don't need to be a Christian because there's a lot of it that I don't believe in, even though there is a lot of it that I do believe in, like building your community, like having a rituals to build that community, like showing gratitude. All of these things are Judeo-Christian values, sure. But no, I don't believe in God. And I don't think we should need to. So I know that's kind of my bottom line of everything. I'm kind of out of left field, but I got to always bring it back to that. So that probably means we are ready to head over to Discord. Guys, I'm going to tell you again, it is free. There's a link right there. Just click the link and then a 24-hour access to the party. Mikey, you're going to be there, right?
I'm going to try. Oh, by the way, can I just say this about your Discord? Okay. Sure. People, I just want to let y'all know as a disclaimer, if you are easily offended, do not come to the Discord. Is that fair to say?
If you listen, I'm a nice guy, but two things that will absolutely speak to what you just said. Number one, it's not about me running a show in there. Right here, I'm running a show. And there, we're all hanging out. So even if I'm nice, you might get into it with somebody else. I'm not going to step in just because you're getting your ass beat verbally. So, but there is the yes, Pyro, sign up tonight. The idea is that it is a real, true free speech environment. And yeah, Dr. Evil Genius doesn't really come in that often. He doesn't like the conversations, but that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine.
I just have to put that disclaimer. And this is not to scare anybody off, but I just wanted to let everybody know from that with the Discord, everybody speaks their mind, pretty freely. But at the same time, they try not to offend at the same time, but that doesn't mean that some things that could be said could be offensive to your ears because of the free speaking.
Right. And that's all it is. If you can handle what we're doing here, then you can handle it. Because the idea is that we'll get into it. If you want to get into it, nobody's going to bully you, but it is a place where we are trying to have these conversations. We are trying to figure out what's going on. So if you don't care, then maybe you just want to hang out and ninja watch, and you just hop in the voice channel, and you can do that too. Nobody's going to be like, hey, you haven't said anything. What do you think about this? Hey, it's just like it's a party. Just like when you go to a party and there's two people in the corner talking about whatever, you can go and be like, hey, what are you guys talking about? Or you could stand back and be like, yo.
Yeah,
this chick is getting, or whatever. It's a party.
And by the way, just to give you all a quick example. So while I was in the Discord, actually, me and Indian Jesus kind of went at it for a little bit, but you see, but I have to say this in fairness, right? Even though we went at it, and trust me, I heard some shit from Indian Jesus that was like, is that the same?
You ain't gonna hear it on YouTube. You ain't gonna hear it on YouTube.
But I had to check myself and go, oh, wait a minute. This is the Discord. You see what I'm saying? So just like he went there, I fired right back. And it was welcome. But
it was welcome. We were like, all right, it's on. Let's go. And at the end, we were like, that was a great conversation. Have a good night.
No, but
I just heard a notification. We got somebody.
It was a great conversation though, right?
So we got Pyro Don in the building. Let's go. All right, word up. So now that we got a newbie, we got people coming in. Everybody, please go join us. We are about to go have an after party in the Discord. We can talk about this. We can talk about other stuff. We can play games. We can do whatever we want. But we're definitely going to start off talking about this stuff. So before we do that, Mikey, please tell everybody about your awesome channel. I'm going to give you the floor. Give them all the information. What is your channel about? Give it to them. The whole thing. The floor is yours.
Hey, everybody. Here's my elevator pitch. My name is Mikey, and my YouTube channel is called The Mikey Story, basically where I share my travels and I share about my life. And sometimes I will share a bit of thoughts that I may be having about a particular subject or something that's happened or anything of that nature. Okay, so feel free to subscribe, like, comment, share if that's something that you'd be interested in checking out. And as well as you can go on to my Instagram. That's the Mikey Story, the number 2. Okay, and as well as also you can find me on Twitter, the Mikey Story on Twitter. Other than that, when you get there, you can also just say, hey, the Indian Jesus sent me, and we'll be happy to welcome you. All right.
Awesome. Beautiful. Yes, definitely check out the Mikey Story. Before we get off, I'll grab the link and drop it in the chat there, but he will definitely be able to give it to you directly if you head to the Discord like Pyro Don just did. So thank you so much for hanging out, Mikey, and I'm very excited to hear from you in the Discord. Any last words for the people?
Okay, so my last words is concerning this case, okay? Let's not jump to quick conclusions, especially when there's a lot of hearsay and things of that nature. Let's wait till we have everything in front of us to be able to have a definite opinion that's based on the facts and that's based on the case itself, that will let us know, okay, this is what the fight is about.
There you go. Beautifully said.
Thank
All
you.
right, brother. I will see you over in the after party. Peace. So we went over a lot of stuff today, and I know, like I said in the, it was a couple weeks ago when Tate first got arrested, and I tried to do the whole news breaking thing. I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be bringing you headlines. What I'm going to be bringing you is evergreen stuff that we can take a look at and dive deeply into the content of the conversation. And so whether it happened last week or last month or last year or whatever, if there is a valuable conversation that probably most of us would just miss because a lot of these conversations are just boring, I'm going to bring them to you in a way that's a lot of fun. And that is exactly why I call these parties. If you can't tell, I'm having a grand old time. So if you're not, then I don't know, might be something wrong with you. But we have a grand old time over here. And then, like I said, as soon as we are done, the after party begins in the Discord server. Link is in the description. It is free right now, but it will not stay. Pyro, give me a second. I'll help you out. It will not stay free. It will not stay free. There's a number I have in my head. When we get that number of people, I am cutting off. Everybody who's in the Discord server is going to be grandfathered in free forever. Everybody else is going to have to pay. So just come through. Well, it's free. Also, if you have not done so, please hit that like button. I would greatly appreciate that. This has been, by the numbers, one of my best streams ever, and I really, 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 really appreciate you guys. Pyro, I said chill. I'm going to help you. I'm doing my thing. Hold on. I got you. And I am less than 20 people or something like that. I don't even know. You guys can see the YouTube. I'm not on YouTube, but I'm like less than 50 people away from monetization, guys. All I need is for you guys to hit that subscribe button. I don't even care. Honestly, I don't even care if you watch. I would love if you would come and hang out. But at this point, I don't even care. Just hit the button and you could forget that I exist. But I do think you'll have a better time if you come back. Just saying. I think we're doing the damn thing. Hey, Alex Pick is coming in for the last minute. Yeah, definitely want to rewatch this one. And we're heading right over to Discord. So come join us And Pyro, don't worry, I am going to I'm going to help you out. David, yes, the show is the show is done. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. The after party begins as soon as we are done here. So before we end, I just want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for giving me the best numbers that I've ever seen. I want to thank you guys for just being here. I know that even if you don't have the money to support a small creator, the time that you spend here means the fucking world to me. I put so much goddamn energy into this channel. And nobody, I've been watching YouTube for years and you just don't know. You don't know. But it's not your responsibility to know. So don't worry about it. If you're enjoying the content, just hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe button, do all the free stuff. If you really love it, then you could help me out. But that's it. That's it. All I want is your time to come and hang out with me. So if you enjoyed yourself, please come back. I am very glad that you did enjoy yourself and that you had fun at this party. I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.